Chapter 694. Feng Shanshan felt as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over her. She was stunned on the sofa. Are you really with me just to have sex? Is it because you're lonely? No. Tang Yan hugged Feng Shanshan tightly. No. I didn't mean that. You didn't mean that. You just don't plan to marry me, right? There are some things I can't explain, but I'm not playing with your feelings. Shanshan, can we not talk about marriage now? Feng Shanshan pushed Tang Yan away and slammed the door into the bedroom. At this moment, she felt her heart turn cold. She felt a chill from head to toe. It turned out that Tang Yan had never planned to marry her. He didn't put her in his future. She was the one who thought that their relationship had reached the point where they could talk about marriage. She was too naive. Tang Yan slowly got up and walked to the bedroom door. He sat by the door. It should be quite boring to be with someone like me. You know that I don't want to hear this. I want a reason. Feng Shanshan sat on the bed and wiped her tears as she asked. I can't tell you the reason now, but give me some time, Tang Yan replied. I'm not old enough to register, am I? Men are all pig trotters. Feng Shanshan cried and scolded. Tang Yan, you're also a bastard who plays tricks on people. You're no different from the previous scumbag. You can vent however you want as long as you don't leave me. Hearing Tang Yan's words, Feng Shanshan calmed down because she could clearly feel that Tang Yan had her in his heart, and he cared a lot about her. But why was he so against marriage? Forget it. Who asked her to meet such a man? Wasn't he not old enough to get married? She didn't know what was wrong with her to bring it up at this time. After thinking for a while, she quietly opened the locked door. Tang Yan was at the door. When he opened the door and saw her, he only said to her, one day, you'll know the reason. Wash up and sleep. You smell like alcohol. Feng Shanshan didn't continue the topic. Although her heart felt like it was being pricked when she thought of Tang Yan's rejection, she wouldn't push Tang Yan away impulsively no matter how stupid she was. She was the girlfriend of a criminal police officer. In the future, she would also be a forensic doctor. Therefore, she had to train her mental endurance. At least, it was better than hearing that this man was killed while defusing a bomb or being stabbed to death while rescuing a hostage, right? Tang Yan did not say anything else. He went straight to the bathroom because he needed to think clearly about how to ensure Feng Shanshan's safety. In the future, she should go to the police station less. The next morning, Mu Qiqi woke up in Xing Zhao's office at Zhongting. The secretary was holding a change of clothes and seemed to have been waiting for a long time. Madam, this is for you. Where's your CEO? Mu Qiqi took the clothes and asked. I'm in a meeting. The secretary smiled. I'll go get breakfast for Madam. Mu Qiqi nodded. She had been tortured for most of the night last night and had been hungry for a long time, unlike some people who had been fed until they were full. Are you going to the police station today? Mu Qiqi shook her head when she remembered that school was about to start. She did not forget why Xing Zhao was angry. I'm not going. You don't have to worry about me. I'll do my own activities in his office. I'll let you know if I need to go somewhere. Okay. After the secretary asked Mu Qiqi about her needs, she turned around and walked out of the lounge. Mu Qiqi took her clothes to the bathroom to wash up. When she came out, she received a call from Xing Bowen, so she did not know whether to laugh or cry. Third brother, do you know how to read fortunes? Why? How did you know I was free? The case has been solved and it's all over the headlines. How could I not know? Are you with eighth brother? I have something to ask you. Tell me, what do you need me to do? Mu Qiqi asked generously. What kind of gifts do women like? I want to reward the secretary. After not paying attention to these two for such a long time, she wondered how they were doing now. This blockhead actually wanted to buy something for Secretary Ren. Then let me ask you, do you have any selfish motives for buying this gift? Mu Chi-Chi asked straightforwardly. She wanted to know if Hu Ran was already a thing of the past. Can't I just do it as a superior? Mu Chi-Chi could not help but hold her forehead and feel a little helpless. You're really not enlightened after 10 years. If you really want to do it as a superior, then just give it to her. Why do you care about her feelings? I want to make her happy. Mu Chi-Chi's eyes lit up when she heard these words. This was clearly a sign that something was going to happen. If you really want to make her happy, then prepare a surprise with your heart. As long as you put in your heart, she will definitely be happy. If Hu Ran did not ignite the flames of love in him, what about Secretary Ren? Xing Bowen hung up the call with Mu Chi-Chi and suddenly thought of an idea. Since there was a banquet tonight and he did not have a female companion, he could ask his secretary to accompany him. After that, they would enjoy the most beautiful night view of Jianchuan on the top floor of the hotel. Although Mu Chi-Chi did not believe that Xing Bowen could successfully date her, at least he was tempted. Of course, Xing Bowen would not know that this banquet would be the beginning of his beautiful dream and nightmare. Not long after Xing Bowen hung up, Feng Shanshan called again. Haven't you received the news yet? The professor told us that we don't have to help in the laboratory anymore during school. Mu Chi-Chi was stunned when she heard that. I didn't receive the news. Are you sure the professor is serious? He can't be more serious. However, Feng Shanshan also had a suspicion in her heart. In the morning, she clearly saw Tang Yan go to the forensics laboratory to meet the professor. Later, the professor asked the two of them not to be assistants in the laboratory anymore. It would be best if they could focus on their studies. Although she was not sure of her guess, she felt that the professor's decision had something to do with Tang Yan. Ever since she said that she wanted to get married last night, this man had become very abnormal. But the most annoying thing was that he would not say anything. She did not want to beat around the bush now, so she went straight to Tang Yan's office. Did you tell the professor that he doesn't need our help anymore? Tang Yan was reading a file. When he looked up and saw Feng Shanshan, he nodded. You are still students after all. Your studies are more important. After you graduate, come and report directly. I suddenly feel that you are very strange, Feng Shanshan said coldly. Feng Shanshan said coldly, I'm not your puppet. Why should I trust you unconditionally and follow behind you? Can't I? Trust me unconditionally once. You don't want to marry me and you don't want me to work. How can I trust you? Feng Shanshan asked in return. Give me a reason, or just a reminder. Some of the people I arrested when I was undercover have come out. Tang Yan took a step back and said. Chapter 695. After hearing this, Feng Shanshan was stunned. Tang Yan picked up the file again and no longer looked at Feng Shanshan. I need to get rid of them, so I can't make any promises to you. After Feng Shanshan heard this, she walked out of Tang Yan's office in a daze. Although she knew that all of Tang Yan's concerns were right, for some reason, she felt a sense of loss in her heart. Her feelings were complicated. She was worried and sad. Therefore, although she did not know how long it would take, Feng Shanshan still decided to listen to Tang Yan's arrangements. All the problems she had been pretentious with before were now worthless in front of Tang Yan's life. And this man was not good at comforting people, nor was he considerate. However, he must be suffering in his heart. Feng Shanshan believed that. When the professor saw her coming out of Tang Yan's office, he knew that she must have asked Tang Yan. He patted her shoulder to show his encouragement. Although I really hope that bastard has a companion, I'm more worried about your safety. Shanshan, it's been hard on you to be with that kid. If you need anything, please call me. Feng Shanshan readily accepted the fact that she was leaving. Study hard. If there's nothing else, let that bastard bring you home for dinner. Feng Shanshan nodded and turned around to go home. She had to admit that she did not have the ability to protect herself yet. However, one day, when she could take charge of things on her own, she would no longer listen to Tang Yan's arrangements. She could also be a harbor for men to rely on. Mu Qiqi still did not know the reason, so Feng Shanshan went over and met her briefly. Of course, she did not reveal what Tang Yan had told her to Mu Qiqi. She only said, Tang Yan has something to do during this period of time. Let's listen to the arrangements of the bureau. Mu Qiqi knew that the reason would not be simple, so she did not continue asking. Anyway, we're still young. There are plenty of opportunities. You don't have to think too much. You probably don't know that what I hate the most now is the fact that I'm still young. If she had been born earlier and met Tang Yan earlier, perhaps she would not have missed so much of Tang Yan's past. Mu Qiqi looked at Feng Shanshan's hateful expression and smiled. Marry him if you hate it. Feng Shanshan gave Mu Qiqi a push and turned around to return to their home. However, less than 3 hours after she was sent home, Feng Shanshan received another call from the professor. Well, Shanshan, Tang Yan had an urgent mission and didn't have time to tell you. He asked me to tell you that he might be out for a week. His luggage, they should have prepared it for him. You don't have to worry. Wait for him to come back. Before Feng Shanshan could say anything else, the professor had already hung up. Feng Shanshan put down her phone helplessly. She suddenly understood how Tang Yan's ex-girlfriend felt. Because Tang Yan was really not a suitable person for marriage. Whenever you needed him, he was not by your side. How was she supposed to persevere? The scariest thing was that you couldn't get angry, because even if you got cancer, he wouldn't know. Feng Shanshan felt that she should reevaluate this relationship, so she called Mu Qiqi. Want to come out for a drink? Mu Qiqi guessed that it was because of Tang Yan, so she nodded and agreed. Let's meet at the place. The two of them agreed to meet at a cafe not far from Zhongting. It was rare for Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan to be like normal friends. They asked each other out for tea and chat, even though the two of them saw each other every day. When Mu Qiqi was about to go out, she ran into Xing Xiao. Behind him was a group of people in suits and leather shoes. They seemed to be her business partners. Mu Qiqi wanted to avoid these customers and leave directly, but Xing Xiao grabbed her. Where are you going? Feng Shanshan is not in a good mood. We'll meet downstairs. Xing Xiao nodded and let go. Call me when you're done. I won't go to the police station. I'm not afraid that you'll go to the police station. There's something else. Mu Qiqi nodded. I understand. Did she really think that he was so narrow-minded that he still remembered yesterday's grudge? Even if he remembered yesterday's grudge, he would not deprive the little one of any rights. He would only be unhappy in his heart. Mu Qiqi quickly went downstairs and arrived at the place where she had agreed to meet Feng Shanshan. This was the first time she saw Feng Shanshan sitting in her seat with a melancholy expression, looking troubled. Other than Mu Qiqi, Feng Shanshan did not have any other true friends, nor did she have anyone to confide in. What's going on? Tell me. I don't think I can hold on anymore. Feng Shanshan looked down at her nails and said, Tang Yan just left. It's an urgent mission. Even the professor called me. I'm very depressed. I don't know if I should continue to be with him. Xing Xiao was by her side every day. Mu Qiqi found it unbearable to be cold for 3 hours yesterday, let alone Feng Shanshan's long wait. If you think you can't hold on, then give up. Because you know what kind of person Captain Tang is. In front of a case, he almost doesn't have himself. You can also imagine that in the future, when you get married and have children together, he might not even show up for the wedding. So, if you feel that you really can't bear not having your partner by your side, then you should make a decision early. Otherwise, it will be even more painful in the future. On the contrary, if you love this man very much, then you should endure everything. If you choose, don't complain. Although you might not get considerate care, and you might not even be able to see him, since this is what you like and you want to be with him even if you have to risk your life, what reason do you need to hold on? Feng Shanshan was silent after hearing this. It was rare for her to cry in front of Mu Chi-Chi. You can't give up, right? I don't know which book I've read this sentence before. No matter how happy your love is now, you still have to be prepared to live alone at any time. School is about to start, and we're very busy, okay? At most, I'll introduce my Sonda coach to you, so that you won't have time to think about it. Feng Shanshan did not say anything. She just asked the waiter in the shop and took a piece of paper. What are you going to do? Make a choice. Feng Shanshan split the paper into two. Then she wrote "give up" on one side and "nothing" on the other. I hate being conflicted the most. No matter what, I have to come to a conclusion today. You're going to give your feelings to these two pieces of paper? Mu Chi-Chi glared at her. Chapter 696. You can't be so hasty, can you? Feng Shanshan gave Mu Chi-Chi 2 paper balls. I'll turn around. You change. Mu Chi-Chi sighed and did as she was told. Other than that, she did not know what else to do to ease Feng Shanshan's pain. Soon, Feng Shanshan turned around and waited for Mu Chi-Chi's 2 fists. I choose the right. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure. Don't be so wishy-washy. After saying that, Feng Shanshan opened Mu Chi-Chi's fist and took the paper bowl. But she only opened it and glanced at it before throwing it into the trash can. This is the decision made by God for me. Thank you for today. I've had enough. I'll go back first. Mu Chi-Chi watched Feng Shanshan leave. Then, she slowly opened her left hand and saw that there was nothing on the piece of paper on her left hand. It was completely blank. On the way back, Feng Shanshan burst into tears. But she had made her choice. She would never look back. So, after returning home, she began to look for a new house. 1 week. That was enough for her to completely disappear from Tang Yan's eyes. After Mu Chi-Chi returned to Zhongting, she kept sighing. Xing Xiao saw her and tugged at her clothes. What are you unhappy about? Nothing. I'm just lamenting that other people's relationships don't seem to be very smooth. After saying this, Mu Chi-Chi hugged Xing Xiao's waist. I can't imagine what I would do if I were Feng Shanshan. How would I keep such a bitter relationship? Xing Xiao hugged the little one and chuckled. Someone seems to have forgotten that she had a crush on me. At that time, she had nothing else but pure love. But it's different now. Feng Shanshan doesn't have any relatives. She's just a lonely girl. She needs someone to rely on. I don't deny that Captain Tang is a good man. He's even a hero. But, whether it's a husband or a lover, he's not a suitable candidate. Sigh. The more I talk about it, the more conflicted I feel. Xing Xiao ignored her. He waited for her to sigh 3 more times before saying, Jing Yun and 4th sister are going to emigrate. Ha! Mu Chi-Chi did not understand. Mama Su is seriously ill and there's no cure in the country, which is why they've decided to emigrate. Xing Xiao stroked the little one's hair. Before that, let's meet 4th sister. Is this what you wanted to tell me just now? Xing Xiao nodded. Okay, I got it. But I'm going to stick to you for the whole day because whenever I think about Feng Shanshan, I feel terrible. Only when I'm with you will I feel calmer. Xing Xiao looked at the little one with a faint smile, and finally had his secretary bring a chair and put it next to him. Although I really want you to sit on me, considering the bad influence, I'll give you the seat next to me. Mu Qiqi sat down beside Xing Xiao and held his arm loosely as she watched him handle his work. Soon, night fell. Xing Bowen brought Secretary Ren to attend a business reception. Usually, Ren Yufei was either dressed in black or white. It was rare for her to wear such a bright yellow dress, which made people feel very comfortable. Especially in this winter, it was like the color of a flame, warming people's hearts. I should have brought you to various activities a long time ago. Xing Bowen smiled at Secretary Ren in the car. I was afraid of embarrassing the president. How could that be? I just regret that I didn't realize earlier that you looked so beautiful in an evening dress. Xing Bowen praised sincerely. By the way, the banquet is over. Do you have anything to do? No, does the president have other arrangements? Xing Bowen remained mysterious and smiled softly. You'll know when the time comes. Although Ren Yufei was curious, she did not ask further. Soon, the two of them arrived at the Smith Hotel, where the banquet was held. It was located halfway up the mountain and was very tasteful. Come on, after getting out of the car, Xing Bowen let Ren Yufei hold his arm, even though he could feel that she was very nervous. Don't be nervous. It's no different from meeting clients on a normal day. Ren Yufei nodded. She was a qualified secretary and knew that this kind of occasion was not suitable for talking, so she planned to be a competent foil. However, just as the two of them entered the banquet hall, Xing Bowen saw Hu Ran in the crowd, along with her father. After the two of them divorced, they had almost no contact. They did not expect to meet again on such an occasion. Ren Yufei seemed to have also seen Hu Ran and quickly pulled her hand out of Xing Bowen's arm. However, Xing Bowen grabbed her. Have you forgotten? I'm divorced, and you're my female companion now. But the people outside don't know. They'll misunderstand you, President. The first person Ren Yufei thought of was not herself. She was afraid of bringing a negative impact to Xing Bowen. It's okay, Xing Bowen said gently. Follow me closely. I won't leave you behind. Ren Yufei's face flushed a little, but at the same time, she felt very uncomfortable. Because, in her heart, as long as Xing Bowen did not announce the divorce between him and Hu Ran would still be related to Xing Bowen in name. Not far away, Hu Ran seemed to have seen the two of them. She held a glass of champagne in her hand and walked up to Xing Bowen. Third brother, it's been a while, right? As long as Miss Hu is happy. It was obvious that Xing Bowen's words were deliberately distancing himself from the two of them. A few days ago, about Huang Yao, that's all in the past. I think we should find a time to announce everything that needs to be announced. This way, it'll be easier for you to find a boyfriend. What do you think? Hu Ran did not expect Xing Bowen to tell her that he was going to announce the divorce, so her expression was very stiff. Her gaze finally fell on Ren Yufei's arm, which was holding Xing Bowen's arm. Her expression was a little unnatural. Okay. We're already divorced. It's only right. In that case, let's talk another day. I'll go meet a few acquaintances. Hu Ran nodded in disappointment. She had a feeling that the Xing Bowen in front of her was different. He was no longer the third brother Xing who would protect her and hug her. And the woman hanging on his arm was his secretary, right? Papa Hoot saw that Hu Ran was in a daze, so he walked up to his daughter and smiled. What's wrong? Do you regret divorcing third young master? Chapter 697. President Xing, your wife is here today. Why did you bring a beautiful lady with you? His business friends began to tease Xing Bowen. To be honest, Miss Hu and I were not fated to be together, so we parted ways, Xing Bowen explained tactfully. I see. The other party smiled. If that's the case, there's nothing to hide. I just don't know if this lady, her surname is Ren. Xing Bowen did not directly tell the other party that this was his secretary. Instead, he introduced her seriously. Her surname was Ren. After hearing these 3 words, Ren Yufei's emotions were very complicated. Her stomach was churning. It was because of Hu Ran's presence that she felt pressured. However, Xing Bowen patiently explained the fact that he was divorced to all his friends who tried to talk to him. It was probably to protect Ren Yufei's face. However, although Xing Bowen had stated that he was single, it made Hu Ran very uncomfortable. This was because when the women heard this gossip, they all came to her for confirmation. This would make Hu Ran think that Xing Bowen was doing this for Ren Yufei. That was why he had to distance himself from the relationship between the two of them on such an occasion. He didn't care at all that it would embarrass her. Xing Bowen brought Ren Yufei around to get to know the people. Seeing that she was tired from standing, he let her go to rest. Go sit for a while and eat something. There's still some time before the banquet. Otherwise, you'll feel even more uncomfortable later. Ren Yufei ran for her life and went to the rest area because she felt that the gazes around her seemed to be on her. At this moment, Hu Ran took the opportunity to sit beside her. Hu Ran came over on purpose. Secretary Ren. Miss Hu, I know. Back then, you were Xing Kai's pawn by third brother's side. I just didn't expect that you haven't been chased away by third brother yet. Hu Ran's words were a little impolite. Do you know? Your presence tonight made me very embarrassed. Everyone came to ask me if I was dumped, if I was cheated on, and who you are. I'm sorry, Ren Yufei apologized, although she did not know why she was apologizing. However, as a secretary, her professionalism reminded her to take a step back. If you still want to accompany third brother to such an occasion in the future, then please check who the guests will be. Only then can you help third brother avoid embarrassment. Otherwise, how sad would it be to be like tonight? It was my negligence, Ren Yufei replied with her head lowered. Being a secretary is your job. I believe that I don't need to teach you what to do. After saying that, Hu Ran got up from Ren Yufei's side and returned to Papa Hu's side. She was here to vent her anger, to vent it on a secretary. Although she didn't know why she was so angry. However, Hu Ran did not feel how innocent Ren Yufei was at all. Ren Yufei was indeed a secretary, but she should not be humiliated and trampled on like this. Therefore, she hid in the dark and held back her tears. Xing Bowen did not notice this at the moment. It was when the banquet was about to end that a female member of his friend's family said to him, Chief Xing, you really don't have any tender feelings for the fairer sex. Your secretary has been hiding in the corner and crying secretly several times. You didn't even notice it once. After Xing Bowen heard this, he was stunned. I don't quite understand what you mean. You divorced Hu Ran, but you brought your secretary as your female companion without making it public. You explained along the way and saved the secretary's face, but you slapped Miss Hu in the face. She's a dignified young lady, so naturally, she had to find trouble with your secretary to vent her anger. Xing Bowen was naturally lacking in this regard. However, under his friend's reminder, he found Ren Yufei and saw that her eyes were indeed red. So, he immediately said, let's go first, but the banquet is only halfway through, Ren Yufei said as she looked at Xing Bowen. There's no need to force yourself. After saying that, Xing Bowen took Ren Yufei's hand. I didn't ask you to accompany me to let you be bullied. This is equivalent to slapping me in the face. Xing Bowen was angry. Although he did not know why, logically speaking, Hu Ran was his ex-wife, so he should stand on her side. However, at this moment, Xing Bowen only felt that Hu Ran was no longer the Hu Ran he knew. Or rather, he had never really understood Hu Ran. She had suffered for 2 or 3 years. Why did she lose her original kindness now that her life was better? Xing Bowen did not understand. CEO Xing, are you leaving? Third brother, are you leaving? Xing Bowen turned around and saw Hu Ran behind him, so he grabbed Ren Yufei even tighter and said to Hu Ran, "The news of the divorce will be published in the newspaper tomorrow. It's my fault for causing you inconvenience tonight." After saying that, Xing Bowen pulled Ren Yufei away from the banquet. Hu Ran's expression was very ugly. Although she did not know why she was so angry, she even felt that she did not know the current her. When Papa Hoot saw this, he patted his daughter's shoulder. "I told you a long time ago that you would regret it. How about now? You're already divorced, and now you're starting to be jealous of third young master." "I'm jealous." "Then why did you go and teach that little secretary a lesson?" For a moment, Hu Ran could not reply because she did not know what was wrong with her. Although Mu Chichi's words last time had made her understand a lot, when she really saw Xing Bowen, she felt that she could not control herself. On the other side, Xing Bowen pressed the button for the highest floor of the hotel. Previously, he had wanted to make Secretary Ren happy, but now that such a thing had happened, he naturally had to care about other people's feelings. "I didn't do it on purpose, I know." Ren Yufei explained softly because Xing Bowen was such a slow person when it came to relationships. "To make it up to you, I'll show you the most beautiful night view in Jianchuan." Xing Bowen booked the top floor and asked the waiter to decorate it very romantic. When Ren Yufei saw the candlelight dinner, she finally smiled and felt a little helpless. "CEO, I'm just your secretary. To me, you're the hero who accompanied me through a difficult situation," Xing Bowen explained as he helped Ren Yufei sit down. "But, if people find out that we're on the top floor, it will cause a misunderstanding." "What misunderstanding?" "Misunderstanding that we're in that kind of relationship." Ren Yufei's face turned red again and she felt uncomfortable. Chapter 698. Ren Yufei thought of her background and could not help but feel inferior. Thinking about how difficult it was to walk the path of a wealthy family, she reminded herself very clearly. Even if she really liked the president, she could only like him. She could not have the thought of marrying him. She really could not afford such a beautiful dream. Therefore, not long after sitting down, Ren Yufei said uncomfortably, "President, it's already very late tonight. I've seen the night view. I'll go home first. I have to wake up early tomorrow." "Are you in such a hurry? I thought you'd be happy." Ren Yufei held back her excitement and smiled. "I'm indeed very happy. Thank you for your hospitality, President." After saying that, Ren Yufei stood up and bowed slightly to Xing Bowen. Then, she quickly left the top floor as if she was escaping. She could only get close to Xing Bowen when she was his secretary. Otherwise, she would not be worthy of the president. Xing Bowen was a little helpless and a little disappointed. This was the first time he wanted to invite a girl to see the night view, but he did not expect that. Forget it, perhaps he was really destined to be alone in this life, as Xiao Qi had said. Therefore, Xing Bowen finished his candlelight dinner alone on the top floor. But then, he still called Ren Yufei. "Secretary Ren, President, I'm already home. I'm not asking you to come out for dinner. I just want you to remember to communicate with the Public Relations Department tomorrow and announce the news of my divorce with Hu Ran," Xing Bowen said helplessly. Secretary Ren realized that she was too nervous and quickly reminded herself to be calm. "Okay, I understand. That's it then." With that, Xing Bowen hung up. Secretary Ren sat on the bed as if she was an unforgivable sinner. She could even harden her heart to reject a good person like Xing Bowen. After watching the night view alone, Xing Bowen left the top floor of the hotel. However, when he returned to the Xing family's home, he saw Hu Ran's car parked at the entrance of the Xing family's home. Xing Bowen got out of the car and knocked on Hu Ran's window. "Why didn't you go in? Our identities are different, so it's not convenient." Hu Ran smiled. "I came to you for no other reason than to hope that you can announce the news of our divorce later. Right now, my father has a very important project. The partner only agreed to sign the contract because of my relationship with the Xing family. If the news of our breakup gets out, the cooperation might fall through. Hu Ran, I know this has caused you a lot of inconvenience." Hu Ran was a little apologetic. "But, can you please give me another month? For the sake of our past friendship. Hu Ran, I once helped you, and you also helped me. I always thought that after the divorce, we should be even. If it was any other day, I might have agreed to it. What's one more month? But now, I don't want to do it." "When will you sign the contract?" Xing Bowen confirmed. "I can only wait until the day you sign the contract. But, if we divorce right after signing the contract, the other party will think that we have breached the contract." Hu Ran's tone was a little anxious. "Not even for a month? Or is it that you already have someone you like, so you need to take care of them? It doesn't matter. Tell me who it is and I'll help you explain. After all, I also want to see you happy. How about this? I'll ask Xiaoqi. You know that I'm a weak person. I can't make a decision on such matters." After saying that, Xing Bowen took out his phone and called Muqiqi. This made Hu Ran's expression change. She did not expect that Xing Bowen would actually look for his sister-in-law because of such a thing. Could he not make his own decision? Even so, Hu Ran had already said it. It was not good for her to take back her words. She could only wait for Xing Bowen to pick up the phone. Then, Muqiqi's voice came from the phone. "Xiaoqi, are you asleep? I've taken up some of your time. What's wrong?" Muqiqi was still lying on Xing Zhao's body, reading a book. "It's like this." Xing Bowen told Muqiqi about Hu Ran's intentions. He pretended to be as white as a sheet. "I can't make up my mind now. Can you give me some advice?" On the other end of the phone, Muqiqi looked at her phone in confusion. After confirming that it was Xing Bowen, she wondered if this person had taken the wrong medicine. But when she thought about it, why would Xing Bowen call her for such a thing? There must be something fishy. "Do you want me to tell the truth?" "Of course I want you to tell the truth. Since it's in the past, you should cut it off quickly and look forward to the future. Although I really hope that Miss Hu can live a good life, she didn't tell you about this in advance. She just took advantage of your relationship that no longer exists. So, I don't think you need to get involved in this mess. After the divorce, you should live your own life. After all, Miss Hu doesn't want to stay with you forever, right?" Xing Bowen nodded. "You're right." In fact, Xing Bowen deliberately turned up the volume of the call so that Hu Ran could hear him. After Hu Ran heard it, her face suddenly turned red. "I understand what you mean. Xiao Ran, I hope you will always be the Xiao Ran who keeps your original heart." Having said that, Xing Bowen hung up the phone and returned to his car. Then, he drove straight into the Xing family's house. As for Hu Ran, she closed the car window with a look of shame and indignation. Was Xing Bowen really stupid, or was he pretending to be crazy? She was a little confused. After entering the house, old Master Xing pulled Xing Bowen to the side. "I just heard from the butler that you were chatting with that Miss Hu outside again. Why? Are you still in love with her?" Grandpa, is your grandson that kind of person? Although he doesn't have anything he wants, isn't smart, and has a low EQ, I'm not so bad that I have to pretend that nothing happened after someone dumped me and stick to her. Your grandson also has dignity. Besides, don't you like Secretary Ren? After old Master Xing heard this, he immediately understood. After all this time, you have a goal. Do you object? What rich girl? If I don't turn around, I'll kick you out. So, it's better to find a steady one. I'll be satisfied if she can treat you sincerely. I'm warning you, don't give me a divorce and then remarry. Old Master Xing pointed his walking stick at Xing Bowen and warned him. It's impossible for me. Although I don't have any other strengths, I'm very strong-willed, Xing Bowen promised. I've already asked Secretary Ren to announce the divorce tomorrow. That's not bad. Old Master Xing was satisfied with the answer. Xing Bowen smiled. The difference between his grandfather in the past and now was not just a little. Chapter 699. Hu Ren actually went to look for you again. Mu Chi-Chi's voice was a little cold. When I saw her in the past, I really liked her. It seemed like she could share the joys and sorrows with you. However, ever since she suddenly asked for a divorce, I realized that some things were just hidden too deeply and hadn't been discovered. She caused trouble for Secretary Ren at the cocktail party today. Now, Secretary Ren is completely ignoring me. Xing Bowen was a little disappointed. So, you dragged me into the water to help you take revenge, right? Mu Chi-Chi rolled her eyes. This person was stupid. At critical moments, he could always think of some strange tricks that made it impossible for her to be angry. Xiao Qi, although I can't compare to third brother in any aspect, I believe that I can still act appropriately. Since we're divorced, we shouldn't be too involved. You'd better think of a way to coax Secretary Ren. She's being made difficult for no reason. If it were me, I would definitely leave in a huff. After saying that, Mu Chi-Chi hung up. Was this person smart or stupid? She couldn't figure it out. Xiao Xiao, do you know that I was tricked by third brother? Mu Chi-Chi propped herself up and looked at Xing Xiao. I heard it. Xing Xiao appeared very calm. This person actually knows how to use a borrowed knife to kill someone. In the future, if Hu Ran wants to hate someone, she'll hate me. He's too scheming. How is he stupid? Mu Chi-Chi thought about it now and realized that she had really underestimated third brother Xiao. I'll buy you a lesson and remind you that smart people often don't guard against people with mental problems. Pfft, was there something wrong with third brother's brain? Mu Chi-Chi laughed out loud. Actually, this was good. After all, she and Hu Ran didn't have much chance to meet. Papa Hu definitely didn't rely on his daughter or someone else's background to get to where he is now. It's impossible for him to use this as a condition to negotiate with his partners. This is too risky. I just think that this might be Hu Ran's way of keeping third brother and not letting him publicly divorce. This is a woman. Xing Xiao put down the documents in his hand and carried Mu Chi-Chi. What's wrong with women? You don't mean what you say. With that, Xing Xiao left the study and brought the little one to the bathroom. Late at night. The tormented Feng Shanshan spent the whole afternoon clearing out her things from the house and contacted the new house. It was all thanks to the money that old Xing had given her before that she had the space to be willful. It turned out that it was so easy to leave a home. It was just a few bags of things, so there was no need to be nostalgic. Once the moving company arrived tomorrow, she would be able to leave this place and Tang Yen for good. She did not know why, but at the same time, she felt an inexplicable sense of relief. From now on, she no longer needed to worry about this man's life. The next morning, the movers arrived very early. Feng Shanshan carried her luggage and walked around the living room a few times. She really did not expect that her relationship would be so short. But now, they could only meet again. That afternoon, perhaps the professor really felt sorry for Feng Shanshan, so he invited her to his house for dinner. He also wanted to comfort her. However, Feng Shanshan told him that she was preparing for school and could not leave now. After hearing this, the professor could only sigh. As someone who had been through it, he had a feeling that this girl, his silly nephew, might not be able to keep her. On the same day, Huang Yao announced the divorce of Xing Bowen and Hu Ran in the afternoon. They did not give Hu Ran any face at all. Papa Hu did not think much of it. After all, not making it public would delay his daughter's search for a partner. However, to Hu Ran, this was a blatant humiliation. Yesterday, in order to trick Xing Bowen into postponing the announcement, she had made up a lie. However, Xing Bowen still did not have any scruples and directly chose to make it public. Could it be that he really liked that secretary? Hu Ran did not know why she felt so uncomfortable after knowing that Xing Bowen was biased towards that secretary. Did she really make the wrong choice? Could it be that she actually liked Xing Bowen? When she thought of this possibility, Hu Ran was shocked. But now, the whole world knew that they were divorced. Daughter, why are you frowning? You should make it public after the divorce. Third young master did the right thing. Could it be that you really like third young master? That's why you're so uncomfortable? Hu Ran shook her head. Dad, I seem to be regretting it a little. After hearing this, Papa Hu's expression changed. Perhaps because she had not figured out what she was thinking, Hu Ran did not mention Xing Bowen in front of Papa Hu for the next few days. Papa Hu also thought that she had forgotten, so he planned to arrange a blind date for her. In order to prove that she did not like Xing Bowen, Hu Ran nodded and agreed to meet the person arranged by Papa Hu. 5 days later, school started in Enchanting University. When Mu Qiqi saw Feng Shanshan at school, she could not help but catch up with her and ask, "Have you moved?" "Yes, I've moved for a few days." "It's near the school," Feng Shanshan answered with her new textbooks in her arms. "I feel relaxed. You can come to my place after school. Can you really let it go? I don't force things that don't belong to me." "Xiao Qi, do you know? I used to think that my heart is very strong and can endure a lot of things that others can't and give Tang Yan the greatest support. But the continuous blows have told me that I'm just very naive." Feng Shanshan could not help but smile bitterly. "Actually, I know the reality, but I just don't want to accept it. Since you've made a decision, then stick to it." Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan walked together. "In order to avoid embarrassment, you don't have to go to the laboratory in the future. Anyway, you don't need to monitor me now." "That's right. A top student like me can't find a place to intern." When it came to her major, Feng Shanshan regained her confidence. "Let me know if you need any help." "I don't need you." Feng Shanshan snorted. "You'd better have other friends." Mu Qiqi did not take her contempt to heart. After getting along with this person, she would know that she had a sharp tongue but a soft heart. The two of them chatted and laughed as they went to the classroom. On the other hand, Tang Yan had just finished his mission and returned home at night. He opened the door as usual. He wanted to see Feng Shanshan and explain to her, but, after opening the door, he realized that there was nothing in the house that belonged to Feng Shanshan. Chapter 700. Then, he called Feng Shanshan's phone number and found that it had been cancelled. "I thought that I could wait for a warm embrace when I go home." Tang Yan threw his phone away and sat on the sofa. He immediately laughed self-deprecatingly. "I didn't expect that I would disappear and leave without saying goodbye." At this moment, Tang Yan was a little disappointed. But a moment later, the professor called. Are you home? Come over for dinner. You're alone now anyway. Tang Yan laughed mockingly a few times before getting up and going to the professor's house. In this early spring, the uncle and nephew were eating hot pot around the stove. Have you contacted Shanshan? She changed her number. Tang Yan picked up his wine glass and drank it in one gulp. Look at you. You still feel wronged, don't you? The professor laughed and said a few words of sincerity to Tang Yan. Although it's very pitiful to see you like this, I really think that you deserve this fate. What's there to be disappointed about? Have you ever considered Shanshan's feelings when you go on a business trip? Oh, you're back. You're unhappy that you didn't see her. Have you ever thought about where you were when the girl needed you? You're loyal to the country, but why should Shanshan sacrifice her own happiness to highlight your value? Let me tell you, don't feel wronged. Think about yourself and ask someone else. You'd better remember the disappointment you felt when you didn't see her when you went home because that girl was the same. People have to learn to think from another's perspective. After Tang Yan heard this, he immediately felt that he was too narrow-minded. Maybe I've been too tired these past few days. Let me tell you, if you really like someone else, don't be a chauvinist. Girls don't fall for that anymore. What's wrong with them? They have to wait for you, respect you, and cherish you. There are a lot of men like them out there. It's not just you, Tang Yan. Uncle. Forget it. Let's stop here for today. On account that you've broken up. After saying that, Professor Tang stood up and took out a note from his television cabinet. He handed it to Tang Yan. Don't blame me for not helping you. This is the girl's latest address and phone number. Let me tell you, if you don't get her back this time, you're destined to be lonely for the rest of your life. When Tang Yan saw the note, he quietly put it in his pocket. Professor Tang saw that he didn't mean what he said and laughed. You didn't come here for nothing, did you? All right, I know you want to go home. Let's go. Don't waste your time here. Tang Yan accompanied the professor to finish the last glass of wine, turned around and left the professor's house. However, he would not take the initiative to find this woman. He wanted her to return to his side on her own. After all, this small courtyard was still under Feng Shanshan's name. He always had a way. The next morning, Feng Shanshan was still in class when she suddenly received a call from the property management. "Oh, Miss Feng, come home quickly. The water pipe in your house is broken and it's leaking badly. You have to come quickly to deal with it." Feng Shanshan hid under her seat and answered the phone. Although she did not want to return to that place, it seemed that someone was not back yet. "Then I'll come over at noon. Hurry up. You have to deal with it quickly." Feng Shanshan responded and looked at the next class schedule. "What's wrong?" Mu Chi saw that she was absent-minded and quickly asked. "There's a leak at home. The property management called me. Take a leave and go back to deal with it." "This kind of thing can be big or small," Mu Chi advised. "I'll take notes of what you want to hear. Consider it a favor from me. I'll rely on you." After saying that, Feng Shanshan patted Mu Chi's shoulder and left through the back door of the classroom. Then, she rushed back to the small courtyard anxiously. Sure enough, there were several pools of water seeping out of the house in the courtyard. So, she immediately opened the door. However, the moment she pushed it open, she saw Tang Yan sitting on the sofa without moving. So, she turned around and was about to leave, but Tang Yan stopped her. "Even if you want to break up, shouldn't you tell me in person? It's not very polite to just leave. I have nothing to say to you." After saying that, Feng Shanshan was about to leave, but Tang Yan stood up and grabbed her. "You don't, but I have a lot." Tang Yan. It wasn't easy for me to make up my mind to make this choice. I think we really shouldn't continue. We're not suitable. Feng Shanshan pushed Tang Yan away. But the person who suggested having sex was you. The person who made me addicted was you. The person who made me want to get married was also you. Now that you're leaving, what should I do? Tang Yan asked Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan shifted her gaze elsewhere. I don't want to be like this. I'm always on tenterhooks. You don't appreciate anything I do. To tell you the truth, with you in this state, I really don't have confidence in the future. Because you don't trust me. You think I can't do anything. You think I should be locked up at home. But this isn't what I want. Really, after hearing this, Tang Yan was silent for a long time. It was so long that Feng Shanshan felt stiff. Then, he said, I am used to being independent. I haven't learned how to get along with women. If you have any dissatisfaction with me, you can tell me. But don't leave without saying a word. I can't stand it. After so many years, even if I failed a mission, I haven't felt so bad. I know that it's easy to change a leopard's skin, but I will try to learn and understand you. So, can you not give our relationship a death sentence so easily? This time, it was Feng Shanshan's turn to be silent. At least give me an observation period. Feng Shanshan did not answer, but she still walked out. I'll go back to class. We'll talk about it later. Tang Yan did not force it because he knew that he could not be anxious. Let's talk about it later. There's still room for negotiation. I'll send you. There's no need. I drove here. After saying that, Feng Shanshan turned around and left the small courtyard. She suddenly understood what was going on with the puddles of water in the courtyard. Because he had carried out an important mission, Tang Yan got a few days off. So, after Feng Shanshan left, he drove to the entrance of Enchanting and found a random coffee shop. He sat there for the whole morning. During lunch, Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi prepared to go to the cafeteria together. However, Feng Shanshan received a message from Tang Yan. I'm at the coffee shop outside Enchanting. After Feng Shanshan read it, she turned off her phone and remained unmoved. Who cares about you? After you came back from repairing the water pipes, you were in a different state. Did Captain Tang come to look for you? Chapter 701. He said some provocative words and made me fall head over heels for him, just like what you saw, Feng Shanshan said self-deprecatingly. Feng Shanshan said self-deprecatingly. So, I'm in a state of battle again. The note I wrote and the oath I swore before are like a fart. Mu Qiqi chuckled and poked her forehead. Accept your fate. You have no resistance against Captain Tang. I'll struggle a little more. Feng Shanshan felt that she still needed to calm down. Up to you. Wasn't love something that could be sunny one moment and cloudy the next? The two of them had lunch together and then took a lunch break together. However, when Feng Shanshan went to the cabinet to get the teaching materials, she found that her cabinet had been pried open, her things were in a mess. The first thought in her mind was Tang Yan, but Tang Yan really didn't know how to do such a tasteless thing other than putting on an act. Therefore, she temporarily tidied up her cabinet and returned to the classroom as if nothing had happened. Now, everyone knew that the two top students of the Faculty of Forensic Science had turned from enemies to friends who could talk about anything. Forget about everything else, the fact that the two of them were not to be trifled with was a well-known fact in Enchanting University. Under such circumstances, the person who came to look for trouble with Feng Shanshan should not be someone from the university. Why did you take so long? Mu Qiqi saw that Feng Shanshan took half an hour to get the teaching materials, so she couldn't help but ask, Is Captain Tang here? No. Feng Shanshan shook her head. If he's not here now, he'll appear outside the school gate in a while, Muchichi guessed. Feng Shanshan tilted her head and looked at Muchichi. This person must have been a fortune teller in her previous life. I'm relieved to see that you seem to have come back to life. You don't know how depressed I was at home the day you made your choice. Since you've reconciled with Captain Tang, I'll worry about others. Are you some kind of matchmaker? Feng Shanshan scoffed. You have a mole on your nose. You really look like one. Get lost. Muchichi glared at her. In fact, old Xing knew that Xing Bowen could not handle it, so he called her. Although they still disliked each other verbally, she could not let the old man, who had just recovered from a serious illness, come out to meet her, a junior, after the old man repeatedly asked her to do so. So, she agreed to go to the Xing family. Of course, she was reluctant. After all, she and Xiao Xiao had sworn in their hearts that they would never step into the Xing family again in this life. But now, the old man had changed a lot, so she made a concession. Soon, the bell for the last class rang. Muchichi leaned on Feng Shanshan's arm gloatingly. Stop pretending. Let's go out and meet people. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath and felt a little uncomfortable. You. Captain Tang, said Feng Shanshan. She felt. She of Feng Shan. And, Captain, in. Over Tian. Tang of Tang. She thought over and over. But and over again, over and over. Over. Aired. Over and over. Over, Feng. Over. This man must have done it on purpose. He must have. Before Muchichi got into the car, she saw Feng Shanshan looking around and knew that she must be disappointed. She finally believed that Captain Tang was an expert. Do you think he'll pester you if you catch him off guard? He wouldn't. He would tease you, make you upset, and make you worry. He was indeed an expert. Muchichi shook her head and got into the car with a smile. Fortunately, the man beside her was not such an expert. Otherwise, she felt that her heart would not be able to take it. Seeing her smile, Xing Xiao reached out and pinched her chin. What's so happy about? Share it with me. I'm very happy to see others happy, Muchichi answered. Just to satisfy your matchmaker's needs, I have to make an exception and go to the Xing family tonight. CEO Xing was unhappy about this. Grandpa is looking for me. You can't let him out, can you? Muchichi asked the man with a frown. Su Che, go pick up the old man, Xing Xiao instructed Su Che. Can't he go to the banyan courtyard? After all, there were other people in the Xing family that Xing Xiao did not want to see. There was no need to ruin his mood for those people. Will Mom be unhappy if you do this? I know what I'm doing. Muchichi took a deep breath and nodded. Then I'll listen to your arrangements. Previously, Old Master Xing had said that he wanted to meet Old Master Xin in person. After all, he was the one who had done wrong in the first place. He had to go to him and apologize. Today was the perfect opportunity. Most importantly, he wanted him to see his son. He was now the chief engineer of Zhongting. Feng Shanshan drove her car home. However, halfway through, she suddenly lost control of the steering wheel. She quickly braked and stopped the car. Then, she called Tang Yan. Something happened on the way. Come and pick me up. Tang Yan's face turned red. A traffic accident. Something happened to the car. I'm parked in the middle of the road now. I can't move. Call a tow truck. Go to the side of the road by yourself. I'll come over right away. Why had the bookcase been pried open? Why had the car been tampered with? Could it be that all of this was premeditated? Feng Shanshan stood by the side of the road. Thinking about the scene just now, she felt a lingering fear. She had almost crashed into a straight car. 20 minutes later, Tang Yan drove to the place where Feng Shanshan had an accident. His face was extremely gloomy. Are you okay? I'm lucky. Nothing happened. Feng Shanshan nodded. Get in the car first. I'll go to the car to take a look. Tang Yan sent Feng Shanshan to the car and then went to check Feng Shanshan's car. He found that not only had the steering wheel been tampered with, but also the handbrake. This was done by someone. Obviously, the people who were looking for him had come and already knew about his relationship with Feng Shanshan. A moment later, Tang Yan returned to the car. His expression was hard to read. What happened? Now, whether you're willing or not, you have to move back and live with me, Tang Yan said to Feng Shanshan. They're out. They're here to challenge me. Feng Shanshan's eyes suddenly widened. Aren't you afraid of implicating me? I'm afraid, but I won't be at ease no matter where I put you. It's better to keep you by my side. I'll ensure your safety. At least, before I die, Feng Shanshan couldn't resist this man. This was also the reason why she left without saying goodbye. She knew that as long as she saw this man, she wouldn't be able to move. Women just liked heroes, didn't they? Don't talk about dying. You said that you wanted me to give you an observation period. Now, you've changed from a real boyfriend to a backup boyfriend. At least I'm still a boyfriend. This was enough for Tang Yan. If it were any other woman, he wouldn't even mention a word. However, Feng Shanshan was different. Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi were two different girls. Chapter 702. The two of them returned to their original home, but they could only stay for one night. The new place you moved to isn't safe enough. We have to move to another place. When Tang Yan returned home, the first thing he did was to take out his card. This is all the money I've saved since I became a police officer, including all kinds of bonuses. I've also sold the house next door. We have to move to a safer place. What place are you interested in? Feng Shanshan took the card, still not understanding. The place with the best security in Jianchuan is the area where your best friend, Mu Qiqi, lives. Of course, we can't compare to the Xing family, but the small houses there are more than enough. All of the residents in that area were either rich or respectable, or people with power. In addition, the Shen family was also nearby, so the security had to be one of the best. Do we have enough money? You'll know when you check. After Tang Yan said that, he set up several traps in the house to prevent anyone from sneaking in the middle of the night. Then, he brought Feng Shanshan to take a shower. You're still thinking about that at a time like this. Feng Shanshan was a little embarrassed and angry. She watched as the man took off his clothes and completely ignored her objections. What are you thinking about? It's just that you have to be in my sight at all times, Tang Yan explained. Feng Shanshan saw the wound on his shoulder and couldn't help but sigh. My left shoulder was shot through, and now my right shoulder is cut. No matter how good your physique is, you shouldn't be torturing yourself like this. I'm used to it. Tang Yan lay in the bathtub and pulled Feng Shanshan in. Compared to this, not seeing you when I came home last night is more painful. Feng Shanshan didn't say anything and stayed quietly in Tang Yan's arms. A moment later, the two of them returned to the bedroom. Sleep, Tang Yan said as he held Feng Shanshan in his arms. There won't be, don't worry. Feng Shanshan nodded and lay on Tang Yan's chest. Perhaps it was because she smelled the good smell on his body that she felt that her soul had returned to its place. Late at night, old Master Shing was brought to the banyan courtyard by Su Che. Although he was extremely unwilling when he left and kept scolding Xing Xiao for torturing his old bones, he couldn't hide his excitement when he got into the car. After all, no matter how much conflict he had with his eighth brother in the past, he was still his most beloved grandson. Since they were discussing Xing Bowen's matter, third brother did not know that Grandpa Xing had gone out without the Xing family knowing. After arriving at the banyan courtyard, old Master Xing walked into the house of his unfilial descendants with his walking stick, although he never thought that he would have such a day. After Grandpa Xing entered the house, although Mama Xing still hated him, she did not give him a strange look. She just did not talk to Grandpa Xing. The one who had changed the most was Papa Xing. He was now the chief engineer of Zhongting, and his entire being had become heroic and extraordinary. It was as if he was a completely different person. I didn't see you care about third brother in the past. But now, you're willing to drag your old bones to work for him. Xing Xiao, wearing a black turtleneck sweater, walked down from the second floor and sat opposite the old man. Where's Chi-Chi? Old Master Xing did not care. Instead, he asked him casually. Here. Mu Chi-Chi followed him downstairs and sat down beside him. Mama Xing poured tea and water from time to time. She did not join them. She still remembered her husband's death. How much do you know about third brother? I want to know if there's a chance between him and Secretary Ren. Well. Mu Chi-Chi glared at him. Didn't you pursue a match in the past? Because of this matter, you've made things difficult for me. Moreover, I don't think my background is bad, but you despise me so much. Girl, are you going to settle old scores with me now? Old Master Xing also glared at Mu Chi-Chi. What I mean is that I'm afraid that you haven't figured it out yet. After all, Secretary Ren is just an ordinary girl. Xing Xiao quickly stopped the two of them from continuing to mock each other. I just want third brother to be more relaxed now. There's someone who loves him to take care of him. I was wrong about Miss Hu. I just want to make it up to him now. Old Master Xing admitted defeat. If you sincerely accept Secretary Ren, then it'll be very easy. The reason why Secretary Ren keeps rejecting third brother is probably because she doesn't want to enter a wealthy family. She feels that a wealthy family is very scary. Since you like her, Grandpa, then find her and treat her well. Treat her like a granddaughter-in-law. Buy whatever she lacks and ask about her well-being. Make your attitude clear. You definitely won't interfere with their development. Are you sure this will work? Old Master Xing couldn't believe it. She likes third brother very much, but she's afraid of the Xing family steps. As the head of the family, you can personally tell her that I don't despise you. Then, she'll naturally have a lot less to worry about. After hearing Mu Chi-Chi's words, old Master Xing nodded. It seemed to make sense. Since you say so, I'll give it a try. Also, that Miss Who doesn't seem to have given up on third brother. Mu Chi-Chi reminded old Master Xing. Don't do something stupid again just because someone else gives you some benefits. I've already died once. What else can't I get over? Old Master Xing scoffed at Mu Chi-Chi's words. Believe me, as long as you clarify your attitude, Secretary Ren will definitely not reject third brother again. Old Master Xing patted his thigh. I'll believe you this once. When Mama Xing saw this scene, she suddenly felt that it was a little strange. In the past, old Master Xing wanted nothing more than to skin Xiaoqi alive. But now, in name, he was here to look for eighth brother. In fact, he spent more time talking to Mu Chi-Chi. One old and one young. Although they were teasing each other, Mama Xing could tell that this old man still had some indescribable dependence on Xiaoqi. Even his most beloved eighth brother had to stand aside. Since it's settled, I'll go back first. Let your assistant send me off. He's good at driving. Old Master Xing named Su Che and asked for him to send him off. You're going back just like that? Not even 10 minutes. It wasn't easy for Papa Xing to finish his work and talk to Old Master Xing. How could there be any overnight hatred between father and son? I still have to go to the Shen family. Moreover, I know that you've become famous and have just won a few awards. You're more successful than me. I've let you down. Old Master Xing said this from the bottom of his heart. Of course, Papa Xing was very happy when he heard this. He smiled like a child. However, when Mu Chi heard that Old Master Xing was going to the Shen family, she knew that he must be going to apologize. After all, he was the one who insisted on breaking off the engagement between the Shen family and the Xing family, ruining his friendship with Old Master Xing. Chapter 703. If she deliberately came to cause trouble for Xing Bowen, then Xing Bowen might not be able to get past her. Don't worry. The old thing is not like before. It's useless even if there are 10 more who ran. Xing Xiao put his arm around Mu Chi-Chi's shoulder and turned to Mama Xing. Mom, let's go up and sleep, go. Mama Xing knew what Xing Xiao wanted to do when she heard his tone. Young people were full of fire. It was just that Xiao Qi's body was suffering. The night breeze blew. Old Master Xing arrived at the Shen family with Su Che's help. When Huang Yu heard that Old Master Xing was here, she quickly went to Old Master Xing's pond. Dad, Grandpa Xing is here. Old Master Xing snorted when he heard that. Was this person here to disturb his night fishing? However, even so, he still asked Huang Yu to invite him to the pond and put the chair down. Old Master Xing walked in slowly and saw his old friend. Old Shin, are you still angry with me? Who are you? It's not worth it. Old Master Shen was wearing a straw hat and holding a fishing rod. When Old Master Xing heard this, he knew that this person was not angry anymore. It was just that he was embarrassed. I came here today to apologize to you. Otherwise, I don't even know when my old bones will be buried. After hearing this, Old Master Shen finally turned around. You know that you're already so old, but you're still making trouble. It's your turn. Are you fishing? Fishing. They were both old friends. They did not have time to care so much. As long as Old Master Xing apologized, Old Master Shen planned to forgive him. Friends did not matter in this life. Why should they be so calculative? So, the two old men fished by the pond until the wee hours of the morning. Old Master Xing simply stayed at the Shen family's house. It was only the next day that Xing Bowen found out that his grandfather had gone to the Shen family and made up with Old Master Shen. However, when he arrived at Huangyao, he found out that Secretary Ren did not come to work at all. Then, Secretary Ren's assistant told Xing Bowen, Secretary Ren was asked to leave by the chairman early in the morning. The president asks you to work in peace. Grandpa. He still hasn't changed, he wants to. President, don't speak too fast. This time, the chairman won't make things difficult for you. You just need to focus on your work. The assistant revealed a meaningful smile. However, other than making things difficult for Secretary Ren, Xing Bowen really couldn't think of anything else that the old man would look for her for. Old Master Xing called Secretary Ren to the Shen family. When Old Master Shen saw her, he frowned. I'm taking you to play basketball. Why did you bring the little secretary along? I found a wife for third bro. Not bad, right? You have better taste than before, Grandpa Shin said sarcastically. After saying that, the two of them immediately laughed. In fact, Secretary Ren was also very nervous. She had no idea what the old man was going to do. Meanwhile, Muchichi had arrived at school. However, she felt that everyone was looking at her weirdly the moment she stepped through the gates. Especially the pedestrians on the road. It seemed like they were talking about her, but it also seemed like they weren't. When she entered the classroom, she saw a huge banner in the classroom. There was only one sentence on it: Feng Shanshan is a whore who can sleep with anyone. Her private life is extremely messy. She even had an abortion for a rich second-generation heir. She didn't know how the other party was so resourceful that they even got Feng Shanshan's ultrasound data in the hospital. Muchichi's first reaction was to call Feng Shanshan. "Where are you?" "I'm at the school gate." "What's wrong?" "Don't come in." Muchichi's most direct reaction was to protect her friend. "Anyway, don't come in. I'll see what I can do." The more Muchichi said this, the more curious Feng Shanshan became. So, she quickened her pace and entered the school, only to see everyone pointing at her. Feng Shanshan ignored them and entered the classroom together. Finally, she saw the banner at the back of the classroom. Of course, Muchichi had already torn off the ultrasound photo, so Feng Shanshan didn't see it. "I told you not to come. You should have been obedient." Muchichi immediately walked over and blocked Feng Shanshan's view. "I know why," Yizichin said. "Does Captain Tang know about the child?" Feng Shanshan nodded. He knew about it and didn't mind. "That's good. Take a day off." Feng Shanshan was about to answer, but the dean entered the classroom and said to Feng Shanshan, "Come to my office for a while." Because this matter had already spread throughout the entire school, the school had no choice but to deal with it immediately. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath and followed behind the dean. At this moment, the people around them started to gossip. "She's usually so arrogant, but she's finally failed. I didn't expect her to hit a child." "That's true. I've long heard that Feng Shanshan is the queen of the night scene. It's not surprising that she has such experience. This time, it's such a big deal. The school will definitely expel her. There's no room for discussion. Tisk tsk, that woman is really too dirty. Who would dare to want her in the future?" Hearing these ear-piercing voices, Muchichi walked in front of the dean and looked at her sharply. "When Feng Shanshan was at the scene solving the case, you weren't even there. Who are you calling dirty? You've done such an ugly thing, and you're still afraid of others talking about it. If adding insult to injury can make you feel noble, then let me tell you, I'll go back and check your ancestors. I want to see if you don't make mistakes." After hearing Muchichi's words, the dean immediately fell silent. Clearly, she was feeling guilty. "You can talk about her behind her back, but don't do it in front of me. Otherwise, I'll make you put up a bigger banner tomorrow and float on the largest building in Jianchuan for 3 days." The people around them instantly fell silent. They had almost forgotten that Muchichi was still around. What was Feng Shanshan to them? Seeing that everyone was tactful, Muchichi sat down. They were really too friendly to them. Did they think that it was a blessing? On Feng Shanshan's side, the atmosphere was very serious. "Shanshan, you're a top student in the forensic science department. Logically speaking, this kind of matter is a personal matter, and the school has no right to deal with it. However, now that the matter has blown up, the impact is very serious. The principal really wants to eliminate the negative impact on you, but he doesn't know who you've offended. Even the school's network has been hacked and you've been posted on the forum. Dean, just tell me what you want to do." Feng Shanshan did not want to listen to those official words. The dean pushed his glasses, a little helpless and a little reluctant. "The school plans to ask you to withdraw from school on your own. Feng Shanshan might already have an idea in her heart, but hearing it with her own ears was a different matter. Most importantly, she did not even have the right to say that she was wronged. Chapter 704. The dean looked at Feng Shanshan awkwardly. In the end, he told Feng Shanshan about the school's research decision. Shanshan, drop out of school. Feng Shanshan did not say anything. If you still want to be a forensic doctor, then I'm willing to guide you on your own. This is my own fault. I can't blame you. I know you've tried your best. Feng Shanshan was silent for a long time before she said to the dean, I understand. I'll come and settle the withdrawal procedures as soon as possible. After saying that, Feng Shanshan was about to leave the office, but she was stopped by the dean. Shanshan, why don't we contact each other later? I'm really willing to help you. I'll help you in private. I guarantee that you'll be no different from how you are now. There's no need, Dean. Feng Shanshan firmly rejected the dean's suggestion because she could always hear a hint of ill intentions in the middle-aged man's words. Her private affairs had indeed been made public, and she had also been scolded for being a husband. However, this did not mean that she would indulge herself. She still had Tang Yan. After Feng Shanshan left the classroom, she saw Mu Qiqi leaning against the wall. Their gazes met and they did not speak. However, Mu Qiqi could more or less guess how the school would deal with it. You said just now that you know what's going on. Tell me, who's trying to mess with you behind the scenes? Tang Yan's enemy has been released from prison. He probably knows about my relationship with him, so he wants to use me to issue a challenge to Tang Yan, Feng Shanshan replied. However, I can't refute it. After all, these are the facts. Then what do you plan to do in the future? I don't know. We'll cross the bridge when we get there, Feng Shanshan replied with her head lowered. Feng Shanshan lowered her head and answered, although I know it's Tang Yan's enemy, I still have to find out who's behind this. Then you can go back. I'll make 2 copies of the notes. I won't leave you out, Mu Qiqi promised. I think Captain Tang probably needs time to deal with these problems. Call me if you need anything. You actually don't know how to comfort me, do you? Mu Qiqi was disdainful. You don't need it. However, it's really time to investigate who brought those things from society into the pure campus. Give Captain Tang a call. After all, he's the one who caused it. Of course, do you think I'll let him have it easy? After Feng Shanshan said that, she took out her phone. However, just as the two of them walked to the entrance of Enchanting, Feng Shanshan suddenly reminded Mu Qiqi, be careful of that old man from the faculty. He's not easy to deal with. What did he do to you? Is there any lack of social news? Using graduation certificates to coerce students to sacrifice themselves. I think that's what he meant just now. After hearing that, Mu Qiqi's eyes unconsciously deepened. Alright, I'll come back another day to complete the withdrawal procedures. Mu Qiqi watched Feng Shanshan leave. Then, she returned to the classroom. However, she had a feeling that the person who ruined Feng Shanshan's reputation in school was a student from Enchanting. As for the dean, he might have to suffer a little. When Tang Yan heard about what happened to Feng Shanshan, he immediately drove to Enchanting. Without saying a word, he dragged Feng Shanshan into the off-road vehicle. If the school doesn't allow it, I'll teach you personally. In a few years, you can take the civil service exam and become a forensic doctor. That's easy for you to say. You're so busy, how would you have time to care about me? Moreover, what about the clinical anatomy class? I can't just kill someone to do experiments, can I? Uncle can completely solve this problem, Tang Yan said mysteriously. After saying so much, is your enemy really hiding in the school? No, it's that person's younger brother. He knows about our relationship, so he attacked you, Tang Yan explained. I just didn't expect that these dirty and despicable methods would be used on a woman. I'm sorry. Don't say these useless things. What I need is practical compensation. Just as you said, I need a degree and I want to become a forensic doctor. So, I don't ask you to teach me personally, but when I'm studying on my own, I can really contribute some effort. Feng Shanshan's words were out of Tang Yan's expectations. He thought that she would comfort him like other women and say that these sacrifices were okay. If Feng Shanshan really said that, he would feel guilty instead. I'll remember it. Tang Yan also answered seriously. Feng Shanshan was satisfied and closed her eyes to rest. Did that group of people only have this kind of method? He dared to lay his hands on a woman who was so weak that she could not even truss a chicken. Seeing that Feng Shanshan was not shy, Tang Yan urged her, in that case, go look at the house as soon as possible and move in as soon as possible. In that case, I'm really going to be Mu Chi-Chi's neighbor. Feng Shanshan smiled. However, Tang Yan knew that she would not be as relaxed as she appeared on the surface. After Feng Shanshan left the school, Mu Chi-Chi became a loner again. With the image of a cold and aloof scholar and the identity of the Xing family's little bride, she could still do whatever she wanted in the school. After class, Mu Chi-Chi saw the dean passing by the classroom corridor. Suddenly, a thought flashed through her mind. At this time, Feng Shanshan also sent Mu Chi-Chi a text message, reminding her to be careful of someone. If nothing unexpected happened, that person was the mastermind who exposed Feng Shanshan's private affairs. Mu Chi-Chi looked at this person's name carefully and suddenly felt that it was very ironic. This was because in the eyes of the teachers and classmates in the Department of Foreign Languages, this boy was a good student with excellent character and academics. Of course, Mu Chi-Chi would not be so stupid as to look for this person in private. After all, she did not want to put herself in danger. However, she always had a way to avenge Feng Shanshan. Thinking of this, Mu Chi-Chi called Xing Xiao. Xiao Xiao, pick up Su Che. I want to confirm something. At this moment, in the afternoon. On the golf course, there were two old men taking a leisurely stroll on the grass. Secretary Ren followed behind Old Master Xing silently, but it was obvious that she was not used to it. Moreover, she was terrified. Secretary Ren, Chairman. Ren Yufei quivered and immediately responded. Come to my side. Old Master Xing reminded Ren Yufei and walked side by side with him. If you follow behind me, I really can't see your expression. Yes. Ren Yufei mustered up her courage and walked up. Calling you here must have scared you. I just want to ask you one thing. Do you like our third brother? Do you want to be his wife? Ren Yufei was stunned on the spot, her whole body stiff. Chairman. Don't be nervous. Old Master Xing immediately waved his hand. I'm not forcing you or chasing you away. I just want you to be my granddaughter-in-law. Chapter 705. Chi-Chi said that you and Bowen are a couple. I was still hoping that I would have a granddaughter-in-law soon. I didn't expect it to be my grandson's wishful thinking, Old Master Xing said with a look of pity. Why is it so difficult for him to woo a wife? Ren Yufei looked embarrassed. This was because there was a huge difference between this and the chairman in her heart. Secretary Ren, tell me the truth. If you treat third brother sincerely, I'll make the decision for you. Chairman, I don't have any intention of climbing the social ladder. Please don't misunderstand, Old Master Xing sighed. This child's wariness was really extraordinary. You child, I'm telling you the truth. Who asked you to be famous for making things difficult for people? Old Master Xing laughed out loud. No wonder your third brother can't find a wife. Everyone is afraid of a difficult grandfather like you. Who would dare to come to his door? Old Shin, don't be sarcastic. Can you help me persuade her? Old Master Shing was helpless. What Chi-Chi said is useless. How is what Shao-Chi said useless? You're the one who didn't put in enough effort. Old Master Shin rolled his eyes and then explained to Ren Yufei, Shao Ren, I'll call you that for now. This old man used to be very bad, but ever since he was stabbed in the head, he's back to normal. So, you don't have to worry about him tricking you. He'll send you a plane ticket tomorrow to send you abroad. Just tell me the truth. Do you have any feelings for third brother of the Shing family? He really wants you to be his granddaughter-in-law. Ren Yufei looked at the two elders for a long time and finally believed old Master Shing's sincerity. Don't worry. This old man isn't satisfied with anyone taking care of third brother now. It's only you, so he can rest assured. The president is a very good man. Without waiting for Ren Yufei to finish, the two old men nodded. Then it's settled. Ren Yufei was confused. Because to the two old men, as long as she didn't hate Xing Bowen and didn't directly reject him, it meant that she was interested in Xing Bowen. A moment later, Xing Bowen's figure appeared in the grass. This person had hurriedly finished all his official business and looked for the two of them. Why are you here so eagerly? Old Master Xing asked knowingly. Can I eat Secretary Ren? Grandpa, she is my secretary. I have a lot of things for her to deal with. Xing Bowen quickly found an excuse. Secretary my ass. Let me tell you, don't order Shaoran around. She is now my granddaughter-in-law. Old Master Xing snorted. Go find yourself a male assistant. Look at eighth brother. He never makes Chi-Chi worry. When Xing Bowen heard that, he felt as if he had been struck by lightning. Grandpa, what are you? If I had to wait for you to make a move, my old bones would probably have melted into slag, so I couldn't wait any longer. Little Ren is innocent and pretty good. I don't object to the two of you dating at all. If possible, consider getting married early. Xing Bowen looked embarrassed when he heard that. Grandpa, Secretary Ren and you're doing this too. Old Master Xing snorted. You weren't in a hurry to announce your divorce with Hu Ran before. Why are you suddenly cutting ties with her? Do you dare to swear that it really has nothing to do with Shaoran? Ahem. Xing Bowen coughed lightly. But everything has to be done step by step. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm just expressing my attitude. If Shaoran marries into the Xing family, I definitely won't make things difficult for her. I'll even love her like she's my own granddaughter. Don't let me scare her away. Old Master Xing pointed at Xing Bowen with his walking stick and said, You have to work hard for me. After all this time, she still hasn't accepted you. Xing Bowen's face really couldn't hang on this time. Alright, your Grandpa Shin and I still have to continue catching up. The two of you can go. If there's nothing else, bring Shaoran back for dinner. Xing Bowen was completely shocked. He directly pulled Ren Yufei and left. After getting into the car, Xing Bowen explained, Well, don't take it to heart. Ren Yufei was stunned for a few seconds before she suddenly laughed. Actually, the chairman is quite cute. That's now. No matter what, you should consider what Grandpa said. Ren Yufei looked at Xing Bowen in astonishment. I don't seem to treat you as just a partner. Xing Bowen took advantage of the momentum that old Master Xing had given him and took the opportunity to confess. Especially when I see you being bullied. Therefore, when Hu Ran begged him not to announce the divorce, he did not hesitate at all and let Chi-Chi play with Hu Ran. Ren Yufei's face suddenly turned red to her neck. If you don't answer, I'll take it as a yes. But Miss Hoot seems to still have feelings for you. She was the one who brought up the divorce. No matter what she thinks, to me, that marriage is in the past. I'm not a doll. She wants a new life, so she can bring up the divorce. She's still worried about the past, so I have to cooperate. There's no such thing in this world, Xingboan answered seriously. Yufei, let's give it a try, okay? You're too sudden. No, it's the accumulation of time. When no one believed in me, only you gave me trust. You felt that with my personality, I could manage Huang Yao well. During my most difficult time, you also fought for me on the front line. I haven't forgotten all of this. Ren Yufei was silent again. Or rather, she was in disbelief. So, I'm really not sudden. At this moment, Ren Yufei finally understood what kind of girl Xingboan wanted. He seemed to be calm and needed a burning fire, but in fact, he was not. He was sentient, but he was born with a slow reaction time. In other words, he wanted to find a drizzle that moistened things silently. I can try, but I'm a person who backs down easily. You back then promised Xingkai to seduce me. Xingboan laughed. Do you want to tell him that you've completed the mission? Ren Yufei saw that he could still joke, so she relaxed. Promise me that you won't do anything excessive in the company. As you wish. Xingboan cried out in his heart. The old man had finally done a good deed and acted as a divine assistant. Of course, he did not know that Mu Chichi was the one who came up with the idea behind the scenes. He just did not know what kind of expression Huran would have if she found out about this. Back then, she was unwilling to be bland with Xingboan, but after leaving, she realized that she was worried about this man again. Now that Xingboan had Ren Yufei, could she really let go of the past? After returning to the company, Xingboan hid in his office and called Old Master Shin to tell him the good news. Old Master Shin hung up the phone and looked at Old Master Shin. This Chi-Chi is really a blessed person. Chapter 706. In the future, I'll dote on her and treat her as the real crown princess, okay? Old Master Sheng was helpless. It was embarrassing to always be talked about by his old friend. That's more like it. When your third brother succeeds, hurry up and invite me to the wedding. Old Master Sheng chuckled. After being stunned for a while, he asked Old Master Shin, "Seventh girl asked me to buy something for Xiaoren. I forgot. Next time, bring it directly to Huang Yao and let her choose for herself." Old Master Shing nodded. He did not care about these external things at all. Good suggestion. Speaking of which, in terms of luck, Ren Yufei was still the one. Everyone in the Xing family had been tortured by the old man, but she was the only one. The old man was already open-minded. I remember that your birthday is coming soon, right? Old Master Sheng was stunned. You still remember? Originally, Old Master Sheng thought that this would be a reunion birthday, but the truth was not like that. Huang Yao, the CEO's office. Separated by a glass, Xingboan secretly looked at Ren Yufei several times while he was dealing with work. The feeling of having a girlfriend was indeed wonderful, so he could not help but want to take a few more glances at Ren Yufei. He could not be too intimate at the company, but he could at least send her home, right? Therefore, when it was time to get off work, Xingboan worked overtime at the company as usual. Ren Yufei delivered the new documents to the office and then said to him, "President, there's a visitor. Come with me after work." Xingboan looked up at Ren Yufei and saw Hu Ran standing behind her. No wonder there was no expression on Ren Yufei's face. Then, Xingboan closed the document and put away his smile. He used a businesslike tone to speak to Hu Ran. "Why are you looking for me at this time?" "Third brother, I want to ask you out for dinner." "But I have an appointment tonight," Xingboan said directly. He planned to completely ignore Hu Ran's special dressing. After all, his real girlfriend and ex-wife were both here. He had to be careful to avoid embarrassment. In that case, I have something to say to you here. After saying that, Hu Ran turned to look at Ren Yufei. I wonder if Secretary Ren can leave. I'll get off work first, CEO. Ren Yufei turned around and left the office. Xing Bowen watched Ren Yufei leave, then took out his phone and sent her a text message. Wait for me outside for a few minutes. I'll be out soon. Ren Yufei leaned against the door, feeling upset. However, when she saw the text message from Xing Bowen, she finally felt a little better. If you have anything to say it now. Xing Bowen sat down opposite Hu Ran and looked at his watch. I'm in a hurry. Hu Ran's expression was a little awkward, but after a few seconds, she still said, Third brother. I still want to go back to your side. These few days, Dad arranged for me to meet some outstanding men, but when I see them, your face automatically appears in my mind, so I want to start over with you. After listening to this, Xing Bowen looked at Hu Ran carefully. After a moment of silence, he chuckled and said, Hu Ran, you asked for a divorce because you felt that there was no love between us. I understood and accepted it. I thought that at that time, your decision was prudent enough. But now, you want to start over. You're the one who got divorced, and you're the one who wants to start over. Is my life just for you? Hu Ran did not expect that Xing Bowen would start by questioning her. I know I was wrong. Third brother, let me make it up to you. After losing you, I finally know what true panic is. Xing Bowen shook his head and seriously advised Hu Ran, Xiao Ran, don't waste any more time on me. I've already walked out. I hope you can walk out as soon as possible, okay? Have you fallen for another woman? Hu Ran suddenly asked Xing Bowen. It has nothing to do with anyone. It's just that as a man, I have my dignity. I hope you won't look for me again in the future. Perhaps we can still remember the beauty we once had. Xing Bowen's words had already expressed his meaning very clearly. Third brother. I know I was impulsive back then and asked for a divorce. But it's precisely because of that I had to lower myself to look for you. I don't treat you as a toy. You're my benefactor. From Hu Ran's eyes, Xing Bowen did not see her feelings. All he saw was her unwillingness. She did not know when she had started to treat the loyal Xing Bowen as her own. Before the divorce, she had never felt it. But after the divorce, she slowly realized this fact. In the past, she thought that Xing Bowen was there and that he was soft-hearted. As long as she told him that she regretted it, he would definitely agree to remarry. In fact, Hu Ran had always held such a thought in her heart. However, although Xing Bowen was a slow-witted person, he was not a fool after all. He understood a lot of things. Moreover, a person who could spend 2 years pretending to be a fool would not be as healthy as a normal person. It was just that she might have hidden a side that she did not realize. Hu Ran, we really can't go back. Hearing this, Hu Ran's self-esteem suffered a heavy blow. She had really let go of her pride and even her face to muster up the courage to come to Huangyao to get back together with Xing Bowen. But he actually rejected her. Third brother, I'll get someone to send you back. After saying this, Xing Bowen walked out of the office and asked the company staff to send Hu Ran home. Hu Ran took a deep breath. Her feelings were complicated. She felt reluctant, but she also felt that it was not worth it. She even thought that she was crazy to come to Xing Bowen to remarry. Miss Hu, please. Hu Ran looked at the unfamiliar staff and made a request to Xing Bowen. I want your secretary to send me back. We have a social engagement at 6:30. We can't send you back. Xingbowen's tone was very light but very decisive. He did not give her any room to refuse. Hu Ran chuckled and nodded. I understand. Having said that, she turned around and left Wang Yao. It turned out that she was too confident in herself. Xingbowen looked easy to bully and control, but once he had decided on something, even 9 bulls could not pull him back. Most importantly, his secretary, a woman's intuition was definitely right. Her secretary definitely had a special relationship with Xingbowen. How long had they been divorced? Xingbowen was said to be loyal, but didn't he still fall in love with everyone he saw? However, she did not expect that she and Xingbowen were divorced. Since there was no relationship, wasn't it Xingbowen's freedom to like whoever he wanted? After Hu Ran left, Xingbowen felt quite distressed. He also began to consider letting Ren Yufei no longer be his secretary. Chapter 707. Ren Yufei sat in the secretary's seat and watched Xingbowen and Hu Ran talk. Seeing this scene, her expression naturally did not look good. Xingbowen felt a little guilty. On the first day Ren Yufei became his girlfriend, he had to let her see such a scene. Therefore, after everyone in the company left, Xingbowen walked up to Ren Yufei and said to her, I don't want you to see such a scene. Rich, ex-wife, remarried man. It seems that every word is pressing down on you. I don't want you to carry these burdens. After Ren Yufei heard this, she suddenly felt a little sorry for him. She knew that Xingbowen was not the kind of man who would change his mind. His rejection was also very powerful. However, he did not have the lethality of Xing Shao, so others often did not take his rejection seriously. President, I want to give myself a promotion, Ren Yufei said thoughtfully. Ha! I want to be your special assistant. I'll choose another secretary. What do you think? This way, Ren Yufei's daily work would not change, but she would have more freedom. Moreover, she could also find an excuse to refuse Hu Ran. Since she had agreed to give it a try today, she could not back down. I'll arrange to find someone tomorrow. Can you get off work now, Secretary Ren? Xingbowen put one hand in his trouser pocket and asked Ren Yufei in a carefree manner. Ren Yufei nodded. Yes. Where do you want to go? I want to go home, Ren Yufei said as she picked up the documents. Go home and continue to do the work you arranged. Then I'll send you, I'll drive. You've been working all day. After saying that, Ren Yufei followed behind Xingbowen. The two of them went to the parking lot of Huang Yao one after another. Then, Ren Yufei sat in the driver's seat. However, because it was rush hour, the road was very congested and it was raining. So, when Ren Yufei drove to the door, Xingbowen had already fallen asleep against the backrest. He was very quiet when he slept, and he did not have bad habits like snoring. Ren Yufei parked the car at the door and could not bear to wake him up. However, Grandpa Xing somehow got her phone number and called her directly. Xiao Ren, the chef at home made delicious food today. Come back with third brother for dinner. There are a lot of rooms in the Xing family. If you stay late tonight, you can rest at the Xing family's place. Grandpa Xing was a little surprised. Chairman, I'm already home. I'm sorry. I see. What a pity. When are you coming? There's a chance. Ren Yufei's body began to heat up. It was mainly because old Master Xing was too enthusiastic. She really couldn't stand it. Xingbowen heard the sound and woke up. He looked at Ren Yufei. Grandpa called. Yes, but I can't handle the chairman like this. Looks like you'll have to get used to it in the future. After saying that, Xingbowen looked around. We're at your house. Go up. See you tomorrow. Yes. Ren Yufei released her seatbelt and was about to get out of the car when Xingboan suddenly grabbed her arm and pulled her into his arms. Today, I'm really happy, Ren Yufei wanted to struggle, but when she heard this, her heart softened and she let Xingboan hug her. It's this steadfast feeling that makes me feel very comfortable and relaxed. Then, Ren Yufei withdrew from Xingboan's arms. See you tomorrow. Xingboan knew that this was the little bud of love. He loved Ren Yufei's reassuring scent, so he wanted to take good care of her. However, when he thought of Hu Ran, he suddenly put away his gentle expression. He had to admit that he had no way to deal with such a person. He had to ask Mu Qiqi for advice. At this moment, Mu Qiqi was confirming whether what happened to Feng Shanshan in school was done by that top student. If it was really the case, then Mu Qiqi would definitely give him a taste of his own medicine. I've checked most of the school's surveillance cameras. Although I didn't really capture this person, he's in every video. In addition, I've been to the hospital and asked the medical staff. From the hospital's surveillance cameras, he was the one who went to the medical staff to deal with Feng Shanshan's case. After hearing Su Che's words, Mu Qiqi nodded. That's right. He used such a shameless method to deal with a girl, and he still dares to call himself an excellent student. Originally, he shouldn't be compared to a criminal, but from the looks of it now, he's still a brother after all. He has the genes to harm others. After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, Xing Xiao pinched Mu Qiqi's chin and looked into her eyes. I think you haven't encountered a setback in a long time, so your hands are itching, right? When Su Che saw this, he quickly retreated. The two of them were arguing with each other like this. Soon, it would be an X-rated scene. He didn't want to be a third wheel here. However, just as the two of them were about to kiss, Xingboan called. Mu Qiqi immediately pushed Xing Xiao away. Go take a shower. Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi mockingly. This little one had all kinds of tricks up her sleeves all day long. However, he spoiled her. There was nothing he could do. So, Xing Xiao got up and went straight to the bathroom from the study. When Mu Qiqi saw that it was Xingboan's call, she immediately picked it up. What's wrong? Third brother. There's something I want to ask you. Xingboan was downstairs from Ren Yufei's house because he didn't want Ren Yufei to bump into Hu Ran looking for him endlessly again. Is there any way to make Hu Ran give up completely? Did she do something shocking again? Mu Qiqi guessed. She came to me to remarry. Mu Qiqi was speechless. Does this person have a dual personality? No matter how bad she was in the past, she wouldn't be so persistent. In the end, she still can't accept it, Mu Qiqi said helplessly. As you, of course, you can only give her the cold shoulder, avoid her, and forget her existence. Otherwise, she will think that you're just acting coquettishly with her. She came to Huangyao today and was seen by Secretary Ren. Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. Why did she go to Huangyao to look for you? It's because she has already smelled the adultery between you and Secretary Ren. She wants to test you. If she finds out about your relationship, she will definitely go crazy. But, I'm open and above board, let me think of a way. Mu Qiqi fell into deep thought. Give me some time. Hu Ran was not going overboard now. She was just pestering him, so there was no need to use any ruthless methods on her. However, the relationship between third brother and Secretary Ren had just sprouted. If Hu Ran appeared frequently, wouldn't their relationship be unstable? I feel that I'm very useless. My words and actions don't seem to have any deterrence to others. At this time, I'm a little envious of eighth brother. Chapter 708. Xingboan hung up the phone and looked up at the floor where Ren Yufei was. Seeing that the lights were on, he returned to the car with a peace of mind and left. As for who ran, he had to think about it carefully. Xing Xiao knew that third brother had called Muqiqi. When he was lying on the bed, he pinched the little thing's chin and asked condescendingly, "Are you someone else's lousy advisor now?" The fact that third brother came to me means that he values Secretary Ren enough. He's sincere. You also know that he's not good at scheming, and Hu Ran hides it very well. At least, it's better for him to ask for help now than to call after he's schemed against in the future, right? Muqiqi smiled at Xing Xiao. So, you're good at scheming. Didn't I learn all my scheming from you? Muqiqi broke free from Xing Xiao's fingers and burrowed into Xing Xiao's arms. A strict teacher produces a brilliant disciple. Xing Xiao hugged the tricky thing and turned off the bedroom light. I'll teach you something else now. Although it was early spring, March in Jianchuan was still very cold. After Hu Ran was rejected by Xing Bowen, she stood in the garden in the cold wind for most of the night. She felt ashamed and resentful when she thought about it. In her heart, Xing Bowen had always been a loyal dog. He was loyal and righteous, so she felt that she would definitely win over Xing Bowen. However, she did not expect that men were fickle. Papa Hoot saw his daughter sitting in the garden and found it difficult to understand, so he went out to persuade her. It's so late at night. Shouldn't you rest? Dad, I went to third brother today to remarry. Papa Hu was shocked when he heard that. But he rejected me. Hu Ran's words were a little unbelievable. He didn't care about the status of husband and wife at all. He rejected me very straightforwardly. Xiao Ran, I feel that you've changed a lot recently. Papa Hu sat down beside Hu Ran. Divorce is your choice. Since you've already walked out of the Xing family, why bother going back? Can't I go back on my choice? Papa Hoot saw that his daughter seemed to be stuck in a dead end, so he patted her shoulder and said, You only think that way because you haven't met a better person. Xiao Ran, you are the daughter of the dignified Hu family and the apple of my eye. Why are you rushing to throw yourself at someone else? Dad, I can't accept this. Alright, after a long time, you'll fade away. Listen to Daddy. Hu Ran did not say anything. She still sat in the yard. No matter how she thought about it, she felt that she had been humiliated by Xing Bowen. Most importantly, what was the relationship between Xing Bowen and his secretary? Was there anything unusual going on between them during their marriage? She had to find out the answer. She had been a fool for a few years and had been bullied for a few years. It was precisely because of this that she could not tolerate betrayal. Therefore, she would definitely find someone to keep an eye on Secretary Ren. However, she did not know that Xing Bowen had already asked Muqiqi to help him. Because of her rich combat experience, Muqiqi had a strong desire to beat down those unwitting B***cheese. In Muqiqi's heart, when she was her third sister-in-law, Muqiqi could get close to her because of Xing Bowen. However, once she left Xing Bowen, Hu Ran would not be on Muqiqi's list of people who would protect her. On the other side, Tang Yan was secretly paying attention to the movements of those people after they were released from prison. They had indeed become smarter. After all, they had been in prison and knew how to lay low. Therefore, if they committed crimes again, it would be even more difficult to hunt them down. Feng Shanshan packed her things at home. During the day, she had already taken the time to look at the house and sign the contract with the agent. Soon, she and Tang Yan would be able to move into the new house. I'll go to school tomorrow to settle the withdrawal procedures, Feng Shanshan said to Tang Yan while packing her things. I'll go with you, Tang Yan said directly. Feng Shanshan wanted to refuse, but on second thought, she was burdened by this man, so he should accompany her. After you accompany me to settle the procedures, you can go back to work. As the captain, your vacation is too long. After I settle down with you, I know what I'm doing, Tang Yen replied as he leaned against the sofa. Feng Shanshan could not be bothered to persuade him, so she went straight to the bathroom. After a while, Tang Yen followed her in. As he took off his clothes, he asked her, "When is your birthday?" "June." "What's wrong?" "Summer, my favorite season. It's the right time to get married." Tang Yen threw away his sweater and walked to Feng Shanshan. "I made you lose your studies and your future. I'll use myself to make up for it. Do you think it's worth it?" Feng Shanshan took the opportunity to put her arms around Tang Yan's neck and chuckled. "You're a husband who will disappear at any time. With a family, I won't be like before," Tang Yen promised seriously. "Words are no guarantee. You'll write a guarantee later." Tang Yen could not do anything to Feng Shanshan. He could only press her against the wall and kiss her hard. This woman was too special and made people worry about her. She had lost her studies and reputation, but she was not anxious at all. She was not sad or disappointed at all. It was as if everything was a small matter. But the more magnanimous she was, the more worried Tang Yen was. Because he knew that Feng Shanshan could do anything for him. The next day, Feng Shanshan told Mu Chichi on the way that she would go to school to settle the matter of dropping out. Mu Chichi guessed that a certain captain would definitely follow, so she was not worried. "I wanted to find 2 bodyguards for you, but you probably won't need them. I realize that you're not only sharp-eyed, but also clairvoyant. You can see things from so far away. Since you know who the mastermind is, are you just going to let it go?" Mu Chichi asked Feng Shanshan. "They came openly, and we fought them openly. Since they played dirty tricks behind our backs, we can only return the favor. This has nothing to do with you. Don't get involved." Feng Shanshan said to Mu Chichi anxiously, "Shao Qi, I know you're angry for me, but now is not the time to deal with him. Up to you, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle." He was taking revenge for his brother. Feng Shanshan thought to herself that those outlaws' lives were worthless. If they really hurt the precious Mu Chichi, Xing Xiao would definitely flatten Xing Ting. "I'm at the school gate. Let's stop talking." In fact, Mu Chichi had just gotten out of the car and saw Feng Shanshan and Xing Xiao in front of her. It was breakfast time for the students, so there were many people in the school. Feng Shanshan's appearance in the school at this time inevitably attracted people's attention, especially when there was a man beside her. "Ah! Why does this man look so familiar? I think I've seen him somewhere before. So handsome. This man is so stylish." Chapter 709. The dean turned around and saw a man following behind Feng Shanshan. He frowned. "Shanshan, why don't you know how to avoid arousing suspicion when you're at the cusp of the storm?" What he meant was, you clearly know how the people in the school are talking about you, yet you still brought another man here. Are you this shameless? Feng Shanshan tilted her head slightly and said to the dean, "I'm here to withdraw from school. The school shouldn't have the right to ask about my private affairs, right? Director. Child, you're really not good at all. The school is full of rumors about you, and you don't even know how to avoid them. How can you still bring a man to school? What kind of person are you?" When Tang Yan heard this, he stepped forward and extended his hand to the dean. Jianchuan Branch 1, Special Investigation Team Leader Tang Yan. The man was shocked when he heard who Tang Yan was. He stuttered, "Aw. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Hello, I'm here to help my fiancé complete the withdrawal procedures," Tang Yan said bluntly. Fiancé, hearing these words, the dean broke out in a cold sweat. Fortunately, he did not explicitly tell Feng Shanshan. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. So it's my fiancé. Feng Shanshan retreated behind Tang Yen and let the man block everything. She did not want to see the dean's face. Tang Yen exuded a calm and unapproachable aura. This made the dean not dare to act rashly from the beginning to the end. In the end, Feng Shanshan deliberately made things difficult for the dean. Didn't you say that I can come to you for self-study in the future? What are you talking about? You have an expert by your side. How could I have the chance to do such a thing? The dean quickly waved his hand. I hope everything will be fine for you in the future. The two of them went through the formalities at school, but the news about Tang Yen was still spread by the school. This Feng Shanshan is really capable. She dumped the rich second-generation heir and found a criminal police officer, a handsome one at that. This criminal police officer is really willing to be a sucker. Feng Shanshan's matter has become so big, yet he can still tolerate it. Rumors and slanders spread like wildfire. They were all girls. Who didn't have a secret? However, in this world, it was always women who made things difficult for women. But when he saw that Feng Shanshan had such a handsome man by her side, his mockery was subconsciously tinged with jealousy. He did not know what kind of luck Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi had. They were clearly ordinary, but they just happened to get the best resources. When Feng Shanshan left Xingting, she held her head high and did not feel embarrassed at all. Because she knew that the man beside her would not mind. Aren't you going to say goodbye to Mu Qiqi? Tang Yen asked Feng Shanshan when they walked out of the school gate. Feng Shanshan shook her head and smiled. No need. We'll be neighbors soon. As a matter of fact, Mu Qiqi watched Feng Shanshan leave. Not far away, she also saw the culprit who framed Feng Shanshan. He probably heard that Tang Yen had come to school, so he wanted to see what the police officer who had sent his brother to prison looked like. This was just the beginning, there was still the future. Mu Qiqi looked at the other party, who looked like a good student. She felt that this person and the dean should be family. He was so dignified. That's strange. It's clearly a very embarrassing thing, but why do I feel that Feng Shanshan was quite glorious when she left? That was when Mu Qiqi heard the discussion around her. If I had such a boyfriend, I wouldn't care about anything. After leaving the school, Feng Shanshan turned her head and asked Tang Yen, who was driving, what if I say that I want to do something bad? What do you think? As long as it's not a crime, it's your freedom. I'm afraid that if I don't do anything, Mu Qiqi won't be able to help me. You know how she is. She likes to meddle in other people's business, but I don't want to involve her, Feng Shanshan explained. The two of you really know how to sympathize with each other. That's because you don't know. I used to hate her to death. We were sworn enemies. Feng Shanshan thought about it. She had taken the money to monitor Mu Qiqi and suddenly felt that it was ridiculous. But now, she's as important to me as you are. As long as she needs it, I can go through fire and water at any time. This was the first time Feng Shanshan had mentioned Mu Qiqi's importance to her in front of others. After all, Mu Qiqi had been the one to help her when she was at her most difficult time. The two of them only disliked each other verbally and competed with each other. But in fact, Feng Shanshan had long regarded Mu Qiqi as an indispensable family member. That was my fault in the first place. Who asked you to hold it in and not resist? Tang Yen understood her feelings and fully supported all her actions. After hearing this, Feng Shanshan smiled. She had been exposed in her private affairs, expelled from school, and mocked. So, she wanted the other party to have a taste of this. Wasn't he a top student? If the whole school knew who his brother was, how would he feel? I'm very bad. You've always known that. She and Mu Qiqi were just little girls. It was not a big deal. That's because you haven't seen true evil. That person's brother has destroyed countless families. He doesn't care about human life at all. If he can take revenge on you, it means that he agrees with his brother's actions. Shanshan, I've done worse things to catch criminals. This was the dark side that Tang Yen had hidden. No one could touch it, not even himself. Feng Shanshan didn't say anything else. She didn't plan to bring this kind of thing up in the future. After all, Tang Yan's identity was still there. She shouldn't make things difficult for Tang Yen. Although she didn't commit any crimes, taking revenge on that person was no different from that person. Therefore, she changed the topic. The landlord said that the procedures can be completed in 5 working days. Everything in the house is complete. Is there anything else you want to buy? I'll arrange everything. As long as you like it, Tang Yen replied directly. In a few days, I'll discuss it with uncle and plan for you to study on your own. I'll listen to your arrangements. Tang Yen didn't say anything. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. This was also what Feng Shanshan was satisfied with. She didn't ask her to be an upright person. That was how she was. Just like Muchichi, she liked to hold a grudge. In the school, Muchichi was in the classroom, quietly attending classes. To her, bullying Feng Shanshan was no different from bullying her. It was one thing to plot behind her back, but even the dean was taking advantage of her. She didn't know how many girls he had used this method to coerce. Since he liked to contact her in private, she would let him contact her to his heart's content. After school that day, the school forum spread. Someone anonymously reported that the dean of Xingting's forensic department was involved in some shady business. Who didn't know how to make up stories? Chapter 710. Once the news spread on the forum, no one talked about Feng Shanshan anymore. After all, whether it was promiscuity or miscarriage, they were all Feng Shanshan's personal affairs. However, the dean's matter was different. It concerned the reputation of the school and the positive image of the teachers. Therefore, the principal, who had already gotten off work, rushed back and held an emergency meeting. In order to give the students an explanation, the school immediately made an announcement and suspended the dean of the forensic science department. They also set up a special investigation team to investigate. Muchichi deliberately waited until the end and watched the dean carry his briefcase and leave Xingting University with a dejected look on his face. Since he was old, he had to accept his old age. He shouldn't covet everything. There would be retribution. Let's go home, Muchichi said to the big Buddha in the car. In order to accompany this little thing to see the results, Xing Xiao had already been reading documents in the car for more than an hour. Since when did you treat Feng Shanshan so well? I'm not doing this just for her. I still have to stay in the forensic science department for a few years. Aren't I suffering to look at this disgusting face all day? Muchichi lay on Xing Xiao's lap and acted coquettishly. Xing Xiao sneered but did not expose Muchichi. By the way, your old man's birthday is coming up. Should we prepare a gift for him? You're pretty good at changing the topic. You're pretty good at it. Xing Xiao put down the document and pinched Muchichi's nose. I won't prepare one this time. I just want to see if you can give him a gift that will make him happy. You know that I'm his enemy. Aren't you making things difficult for me? I can help others no matter how difficult it is. Are you trying to kill yourself by giving a gift to your own family? Xing Xiao did not intend to let her go. He had really spoiled this little thing. All right then. Since you've said so, I'll do as you say. But let me make it clear first. Before the gift is ready, you're not allowed to ask anything. Xing Xiao curled his lips, looking like he wanted to see what tricks she was up to. Muchichi did not tell Feng Shanshan about it, but Feng Shanshan still found out about it. Since she wanted to deal with the top student, she went to the school forum and found out that the head of the forensic science faculty was suspended from his duties. Other than Muchichi, no one else was willing to stand up for her, just like how they dealt with that scumbag back then. At that thought, Feng Shanshan felt that she had to hurry up and catch up to Muchichi. Since there was a school opening ceremony, why not take advantage of this opportunity? A top student, right? Let's see if he could really get the scholarship this time. The next day, Huang Yao's office. Ever since Xing Bowen rejected Hu Ran that day, she had not appeared again. It was possible that she had given up. No matter what, this made Xing Bowen feel very relaxed. He could also find some free time to peek at Hu Ran's serious look at work. Although Xing Bowen didn't know why Ren Yufei had agreed to Xing Kai's suggestion, she didn't seem to have explained it to him in detail. But that was not important. What was important was that Ren Yufei, who was immersed in her work, was really beautiful. Perhaps because she noticed Xing Bowen's torch-like gaze, Ren Yufei raised her head and glared at him. In the eyes of other colleagues, the two of them were still ordinary superiors and subordinates. Therefore, Xing Bowen rarely had the chance to really talk to Ren Yufei. But were they going to continue getting along like this? This was not conducive to his plan to chase after his wife. Therefore, he directly pressed the intercom. "Secretary Ren, come in for a moment." Ren Yufei thought it was business, so she quickly got up. However, when she saw Xing Bowen's relaxed gaze, she immediately said, "President, if it's for personal matters, can't we talk after work?" After saying that, Ren Yufei was about to turn around, but she was stopped by Xing Bowen. "When it's time to get off work, you'll say that you're tired and want to go home to rest. Accompany me for lunch. Anyway, it used to be like this." Ren Yufei was afraid of being seen by others, so she nodded. Okay, thinking about it, Xing Bowen felt a little aggrieved. He was the dignified president of Huang Yao, but he had to hide and be careful when he wanted to have a meal with his girlfriend. In the end, it was still because the knot in Ren Yufei's heart had not been completely opened and she could not truly trust him. In fact, he was also doubting whether he could really protect Ren Yufei. After the two of them got off work and were about to go out, they met the vice president of the company who sent them an urgent document. "You'd better not go out to eat, because you'll have a headache soon." "What's going on?" "The new products for next season haven't been released yet, but imitations have already flooded the market." The vice president showed the report to Xing Bowen. "At present, we don't know who leaked it. It seems that the person's position isn't low." Xing Bowen looked at it and could only look at Ren Yufei helplessly. Ren Yufei did not blame him. She just said, "I'll order food for the two of you right away. Including yourself." Xing Bowen did not forget to remind her before closing the door. This secretary is really considerate. The vice president could not help but sigh. "Don't have any ideas about her. She's already your chairman's granddaughter-in-law," Xing Bowen said. When the vice president heard this, he immediately felt a sour taste in his mouth. He also smiled. "I say, a dignified president cares about a secretary. I really have to congratulate him. This matter is a secret for the time being," Xing Bowen instructed the vice president. Got it. Let's get down to business first." Xing Bowen smiled and looked at Ren Yufei through the glass. This woman really made him feel at ease. However, how would he know that Hu Ran had hired someone to follow Ren Yufei? Hu Ran did not flare up now because she had not seen anything explosive yet. After all, it always took time to follow someone. Xing Bowen stayed in the company until evening when he received a call from Xing Minglan. She and Jing Yun were boarding the plane that night. Thinking that eighth brother and the others had already gone to see them off, he also pulled Ren Yufei and said, "Come with me somewhere." "But, are you unwilling?" No, I have to go home and change my clothes. Ren Yufei looked down at herself and said, I'm too professional, it's okay. Minglan and the others won't mind. You're already my girlfriend, so can't you see my family? Fourth sister is going abroad today. I don't know when we'll see each other again. Alright, I'll go with you. Ren Yufei could not take it anymore. She had seen Xing Bowen act coquettishly in front of Xing Xiao and Xing Minglan. This man would only show such a side to people he truly cared about. Therefore, she felt that she was warmed too. The two of them quickly got into the car. At this time, Xing Bowen asked Ren Yufei, You've been by my side for so long, but I still don't know about your family situation. Where are your relatives? Chapter 7:11. Xing Bowen saw that Ren Yufei's face was pale and realized that he might have said something wrong. He quickly tried to smooth things over. If you don't want to talk about it, we won't mention it. It's not like that. Ren Yufei tilted her head to look at Xing Bowen and replied, I just feel that family matters can't be brought up in public. There's nothing that can't be brought up in public. Look at Xiao Qi. She never belittles herself, Xing Bowen said. If you're willing to tell me, I'll listen. If you're not willing, then we'll wait until the day you untie the knot in your heart. Ren Yufei was silent for a while and finally admitted defeat. Actually, I have 2 younger brothers at home. Because I had to raise my younger brother, my parents sold me to a couple who couldn't have children when I was 4 years old. However, after a car accident, the couple left and I was homeless, so I was sent back. Later, my parents didn't have any more ideas about me. It's just that I don't have anything that my younger brother has, so I secretly swore that one day, I would escape from my original family. After I became an adult, I relied on my own efforts to get into university and worked part-time to study. However, my parents knew about my situation and wanted me to earn money to buy a house for my younger brother. I couldn't take it anymore, so I broke up with my family. Later, I entered Huangyao and was taken in by CEO Xing at that time. He asked me to, but you didn't do anything to hurt me, Xing Bowen said with a smile. At that time, I needed this income. I couldn't be fired by CEO Xing. But in the end, you didn't take this path. Xing Bowen looked at her and his expression softened. Look, it's not a big deal to say it now, right? Chairman. Do you really not despise my birth? Ren Yufei's expression was very unconfident. I really know myself. I really don't want to climb up the social ladder. You're just doing it because you have feelings for me. Ren Yufei did not say anything because Xing Bowen had already said what was on her mind. Yufei, I was born into a wealthy family. It's not as amazing as you think. I was also imprisoned by the old man and lost my freedom and life. Since that's all in the past, let's look forward, okay? After Ren Yufei heard this, she nodded and felt a little relieved. Xing Bowen might not be as good as Xing Xiao, who could strategize everything. However, the feeling he gave people was real. He might not be able to save you from danger, but when danger came, he would definitely stand in front of you and bear the pain for you. You're probably the easiest person to get along with among the rich and powerful. The rich aren't as scary as you think. I can't help but criticize Little Seven again. Is she difficult to get along with? Ren Yufei shook her head. That was because Mu Qiqi had always been tormented by Mu Tongxue even if she was born into a rich family. She might only be 20 years old, but she was much more mature than most men and women. Soon, they arrived at the airport. By then, Mu Qiqi was already touching Xing Minglan's belly and whispering to her. You're finally here. Xing Minglan glared at him. I thought you wouldn't come. You don't plan to see Grandpa before leaving. I went to see him 2 days ago. Didn't you know? Xing Minglan reached out and hugged Xing Bowen. Third brother, be happy. Jing Yun still looked serious, but it was obvious that his eyes were on Xing Minglan's movements. He was really nervous. Call often when you're abroad, Xing Bowen couldn't help but remind her. Why did you bring your secretary to see us off? Xing Minglan teased. That's your future sister-in-law. Xing Bowen rolled his eyes at her and turned around to put his arm around Ren Yufei's shoulder. When your brother gets married, don't forget to give me a gift, be good to her. The few of them saw each other off at the airport. Finally, they sent the couple to the security checkpoint. Then, Mu Qiqi yawned at Xing Xiao. Let's go, Xiao Xiao. We're going home to sleep. You guys should go home and sleep too. When Ren Yufei heard this, her ears immediately turned red. Xiao Qi, are you planning to go home and suppress eighth brother again? Xing Bowen teased. That's our boudoir. Do you have it? Xing Bowen choked. He knew that this girl was up to no good, but he still went to provoke her. He was asking for trouble. Mu Qiqi looked at the two of them. One was stiffer than the other. She smiled. All right, I won't tease you anymore. Secretary Ren, keep in touch when you're free. Okay, Miss Mu. Mu Qiqi looked at the two of them meaningfully and then burrowed into Xing Zhao's arms. It's already March. Why are you still so cold? Xing Bowen looked in the direction where Mu Qiqi and Ren Yufei had left and shook his head. Then, he turned to Ren Yufei and said, let's go. I'll send you back too. Ren Yufei's face had been blushing because Mu Qiqi was really too shameless. By the way, it's Grandpa's birthday in a few days. You should come too. Before getting into the car, Xing Bowen said to Ren Yufei. Ren Yufei did not pay attention to Xing Bowen's words because she noticed from the rearview mirror that someone seemed to be following them. Late that night, Hu Ran already knew about Ren Yufei and Xing Bowen's intimate actions. After all, she had sent someone to follow them for several days. Miss Hu, do you still want to follow them? The man asked Hu Ran. There's no need. Hu Ran shook her head and sat on the chair. Her whole body was stiff because she found it hard to accept. By the way, there's one more thing. Since yesterday, someone else has been following CEO Xing. Before the man left, he said to Hu Ran curiously, at that time, I thought it was someone else you found, but when I saw it later, it wasn't. Why do you think it wasn't? Because I saw that person get into an expensive car with my own eyes. I asked my friend to check the license plate and found that the car belonged to the Gu family. After Hu Ran heard this, she vaguely guessed that the other group of people might be Xing Kai's men. Xing Bowen was not Xing Xiao, who could easily discover the dangers around him. He could take damage, but he had no defense. After hearing this news, her anger dissipated by more than half. If there's nothing else, I'll be leaving first. The man saw that Hu Ran did not move and thought that she did not care. However, Hu Ran stopped him. Wait, continue to follow Xing Bowen for me, especially the person following him. I understand, Miss Hu. Papa Hu heard the conversation between the two of them outside Hu Ran's room. He sighed and entered the room to pat his daughter's shoulder. Why are you doing this? Since you're so angry, aren't you just letting third young master die? Dad, I know you can't let go. Actually, have you realized that your feelings for third young master are possessive, worried, and angry? But there's no heartache. Hu Ran did not say anything. That's because your feelings for him are more like family. Chapter 7:12. The reason why you're angry is because there's no man more outstanding than him by your side for the time being, but he started a new relationship so quickly. You think his feelings are cheap, But baby, there's never been a deep love between the two of you. He met the person he really likes and pursued her. Is that wrong? If it were you who fell in love with someone else, even if you were married and asked for a divorce from third young master, he wouldn't blame you. Do you believe it? Papa Hu's words calmed Hu Ran's heart. She believed it because Xing Bowen was such a good person. Originally, the two of you could still be family, but your recent actions have caused a lot of trouble for the two of you. Daughter, I once thought you were a fool, so I entrusted you to third young master. However, you've already recovered. Think about the person you used to date. Third young master is really not your cup of tea. After Hu Ran heard this, she immediately smiled. Dad, I understand. If you understand, then think about it carefully. I still have to follow him. After all, she wanted to know what Xing Kai was going to do. In 2 days, it would be old Master Xing's birthday. Could it be that this awkward person who had been kicked out of his family still wanted to cause some big news? As for the matter between Xing Bowen and Ren Yufei, Hu Ran sighed. She would wait until she found out Xing Kai's intentions. 2 days later, the various faculties of Xingting held activities related to the opening ceremony one after another. Feng Shanshan found out from the forum which day the activities of the Foreign Languages Department were going to be held. And that top student was called Qing Xia. As a man, he had already abandoned his gentlemanly demeanor and used a woman's privacy to attack others. He would be treated the same way, or even more miserably. The opening ceremony of the Foreign Languages Department started at 7 in the evening. After Feng Shanshan went to sign the contract with the agent that day, she gave Mu Qiqi a call. Are you going to watch a show tonight? When and where? Mu Qiqi asked with interest. The auditorium of the 3rd teaching building at 7 o'clock. If nothing goes wrong, it should be very exciting. Then I'll see you at school at 6:50. Mu Qiqi smiled and hung up the phone. After dinner, Mu Qiqi lay on Xing Xiao's body coquettishly and did not say a word. Xing Xiao lowered his head to look at the little one and knew that she must be up to something again. Tell me. Feng Shanshan asked me to go to the school to watch a play tonight. I think I should go. What do you think? Mu Qiqi asked in return. I'll bring Su Che there. Be careful. You've already thought it through. Why are you still asking me? Xing Xiao pretended to be angry and pushed Mu Qiqi away. Mu Qiqi observed Xing Xiao for a while before suddenly asking, or, do you want to go too? Do you think I'm in the mood for that? Xing Xiao mocked. Come back before 9, or you'll sleep in the living room tonight. Mu Qiqi smiled but said nothing. She only kissed him on the cheek before turning to leave. At 6:50 p.m., the two of them met outside the auditorium on time. Taking advantage of the fact that the Foreign Languages Department was about to begin, everyone was already in position. Therefore, the two of them sneaked into the last row of the auditorium. Are you ready? Mu Qiqi asked in a low voice under the light. You just need to wait and see. Feng Shanshan pointed at the auditorium with her chin and answered. The two of them hid among the students in a low-key manner. Because the lights were dim, no one noticed that the two of them had sneaked into the classroom. Then, the leaders of the Foreign Languages Department rushed forward to speak first. Which segment is the award of the scholarship? Mu Qiqi really hated such a long foreshadowing and asked Feng Shanshan in a low voice. What you should be asking is when that scumbag's background will be exposed. Let's continue to watch. As the two of them were talking, they saw Qing Xia stand up from the first row. It turned out that he was one of the hosts of the event today. With such a harmless face, no one would have thought that he would be so despicable. Qing Xia was a talent in the Foreign Languages Department. He had a good relationship with both men and women and was very open in the event. It could be seen that he was very confident. However, he was too talented, so of course, he would attract jealousy. Feng Shanshan had studied the forum for a long time before she found the weakness and enemy of this influential figure. As the president of the Student Union of the Foreign Languages Department, Qing Xia, say a few words to encourage these lazy pigs. The attendance rate of the new semester is simply a joke. The dean sat below the stage and said to Qing Xia, who was standing on the stage. Qing Xia smiled and looked very obedient. Especially the vice president. Xiaodong, you should learn more from Qing Xia. What this person called Ji Xiaodong couldn't stand the most was comparing him to Qing Xia, especially by the director. In the past, he did not know Qing Xia's background, so he could not refute it. However, ever since he received the document from the kind-hearted person, he no longer cared about Qing Xia. What should I learn from him? How about taking drugs? Ji Xiaodong sneered. Dean, do you really not know that his brother has just been released from prison and is an out-and-out demon? If I learn from him, then what will become of those soldiers who lost their lives to drug enforcement? After hearing his words, the dean's expression changed. Not only that, but everyone present who pricked up their ears to hear it also changed their expressions. Ji Xiaodong, what nonsense are you spouting? The dean quickly scolded him. Qing Xia knows very well whether I'm spouting nonsense or not. Ji Xiaodong sneered. I don't want to hide it from others. In the past few years in school, you've kept your mouth shut about your family matters. If this isn't hiding, then what is? Ji Xiaodong and Qing Xia started to argue. Don't you find it disgusting and ironic that the younger brother of a criminal flaunts his prowess in school every day and takes the school's scholarship? Ji Xiaodong, shut up. You've gone too far. The dean quickly stopped him. Dean, I won't say much else. I'll just say a question in my heart. After knowing his background, even if you think he's not wrong, do you still want to award the scholarship to him? Ji Xiaodong sneered. As for me, I'm not afraid of Qing Xia's revenge. After all, I have a bunch of lawyers at home. Didn't I hear that his brother has been released from prison? If your brother dares to come looking for trouble with me, my parents will definitely let him go back to prison and stay there until the end. This was also the first time someone from the Foreign Languages Department had heard that Qing Xia had such a background. Qing Xia's expression was very ugly. He put down the microphone and was about to leave the auditorium, but he was stopped by Ji Xiaodong. Don't pretend to be innocent. You're best at this trick. If you really have a magnanimous heart, then why don't you dare to let everyone know about this? Chapter 7:13. Seeing that Ji Xiaodong was saying more and more things, the dean quickly said to the boys in the department, hurry up and pull him down. He's full of nonsense. 3 or 4 students stepped forward and pulled Ji Xiaodong towards the exit. Because there were so many people, Ji Xiaodong definitely could not resist. As he walked, he said, Qing Xia, everyone in the school is qualified to receive a scholarship, but you don't. You're still so shameless. Outside the door, Ji Xiaodong's voice was getting further and further away. Qing Xia stood on the stage and had already lost all face. Everything happened too suddenly, so no one could react in time. They only felt like their ears were exploding from this explosive news. Let's continue the event. Qing Xia, come with me. The dean stood up from his seat and said to Qing Xia. Qing Xia was stunned for a moment before he walked down from the stage. He tried his best to make himself look like his legs were not weak. Who was it? Using that idiot Ji Xiaodong to humiliate him. When Qing Xia left the stage, he glanced at the entire audience. However, he did not find anything unusual. However, he had hidden his brother's matter so well. How did Ji Xiaodong know about it? Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan buried their heads under their seats. When Qing Xia was called away, that would be the climax. Because the entire Department of Foreign Languages was in an uproar. Thinking about the students who entered the Department of Foreign Languages, even if they did not come from rich families, their families were at least clean. However, Qing Xia was an exception. Moreover, his brother did not do anything sneaky, but did the most disgusting thing, I'm convinced too. To think that I had a crush on Qing Xia. I really didn't expect him to have such a terrifying brother. Isn't the most terrifying thing that a dangerous person like him doesn't tell anyone? Although he's the younger brother of a criminal and he's not wrong, because of his brother's shady business, I hate him too. What scholarship? The school really shouldn't have given it to him. Gossip was a fearful thing. It was not Feng Shanshan's fault that her private affairs had been made public and discussed by others. However, others could say extremely vicious things about her. Now that it was Qing Xia, he would let him have a taste of the pain of being despised, reviled, and wronged without being able to explain himself. Is it safe for you to look for Ji Xiaodong? Don't drag innocent people into this mess. Don't worry. Even if Qing Xiao's brother wants to take revenge, he'll think about it. After all, Ji Xiaodong's family is full of lawyers. Unless he still wants to get in and drag Qing Xia in, I've been waiting on the forum for a few days. There were other candidates, but in the end, I felt that he was the most capable. Feng Shanshan explained. So, I sent this person the information about Qing Xiao's brother. How can you be sure that Ji Xiaodong will cause trouble for Qing Xia on this occasion? I can't guarantee anything, but I've already asked the cleaning lady to replace their PowerPoint slides after they finish rehearsing. I thought that Ji Xiaodong might be able to support them, but I didn't expect him to be so strong. The PowerPoint slides haven't come in handy yet. After hearing that, Mu Qiqi gave Feng Shanshan a thumbs up. Are you happy now that you've taken your revenge? I'm happy. Let's go, Feng Shanshan answered and got up from the back seat without hesitation. Under everyone's gaze, someone noticed Mu Qiqi and Mu Qiqi. Isn't that Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi? Why are they here? Could this be a coincidence? Impossible. Feng Shanshan was expelled from school. Mu Qiqi is from the Faculty of Forensic Medicine. Why would she come to our Faculty of Foreign Languages? Everyone began to discuss. Some people were good at reasoning and came to their own conclusions. You see, my guess is correct. Those two people just now are Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi. The reason why they're here is to watch our event. But our event is very common. The Faculty of Forensic Medicine will also hold it. So, I think the biggest possibility is that they're here because they knew that Qing Xia would make a fool of himself tonight and specially came to watch the show. But the three of them have no grudges against each other. Why would the two of them do this? Everyone fell into deep thought. They felt that Qing Xiao's matter was very similar to Feng Shanshan's previous grievance. Could it be that Qing Xia was the one who leaked Feng Shanshan's privacy? Everyone felt that it was unbelievable when they guessed this possibility. Why would Qing Xia do this? However, other than that, there was no other explanation. On the other side, Qing Xia and the dean had already entered the office. The dean felt a little uncomfortable, so he turned around and asked Qing Xia, "Is what Ji Xiaodong said true?" "Dean, it's true." Qing Xia decided to be magnanimous. "My brother. He did do something wrong in the past, but he has already paid the price and has turned over a new leaf. Any normal person knew very well how likely it was for a drug addict to relapse. It's not your fault, but what happened tonight must have affected your reputation. After all, with such a background, everyone is afraid of you. Can you understand?" The dean asked Qing Xia helplessly. Qing Xia was silent for a while and nodded. I understand. It's good that you understand. As for other matters, we'll wait for the school meeting to decide. You should go back and have a good rest. What he meant was that this year's scholarship might be gone. Thinking of this, Qing Xia immediately knelt down to the dean. Dean, my brother is my brother, and I am me. I haven't done anything illegal. You can't vent your anger on me because of my brother. Qing Xia, the dean can only help you protect this matter. In the end, it's up to the school's decision. When Qing Xia said this, he did not feel unnatural at all because he felt that he was very innocent, but he did not think that Feng Shanshan was innocent. Wasn't Feng Shanshan the person he was venting his anger on? Dean, I'm begging you. I need a scholarship. Alright, I understand. You can go back first today. The professor was a little helpless. I also know that this is not your fault. I will do my best to help you, okay? My brother made a mistake, but he has to be implicated. What kind of logic is this? There's no such thing as a son paying his father's debts now. You can't reject me just because of my brother. What he said seemed to make sense, but he seemed to have two sets of standards for Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan deserved it, and he was innocent enough to vent his anger on her. Dean. Chapter 7:14. Qing Xia did not listen to his advice at all. He was even full of resentment. The school is unfair to me. I'll go to the Education Bureau to submit the materials. I just want to know why I have to bear the blame for my brother's mistake. I must get an explanation from the school. Seeing that he did not know what was good for him, the dean could not be bothered to continue talking to him. If you want to sue, go ahead. I won't stop you. Qing Xia refused to communicate with the dean anymore and ran away from the professor. However, when he returned to the dormitory, he heard his roommates discussing. They all said that they saw Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan at the event. Did you see them? When Qing Xia heard Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan's names, he immediately understood something. He admitted that he was the one who exposed Feng Shanshan's matter, but Feng Shanshan had brought it upon herself. She wanted to be with the person who caused his brother to go to jail. He just wanted to teach Feng Shanshan a lesson. However, he did not expect that Feng Shanshan would take revenge after knowing that he was the one who exposed the matter. How shameless was she? After knowing the cause and effect of the matter, Qing Xia was furious. However, Feng Shanshan had already dropped out of school. Who could he argue with? Mu Qiqi. Thinking of this, Qing Xia returned to the dormitory and slept soundly. He completely pretended that he could not hear what others were saying about him. He waited until the next morning before leaving the dormitory early and going to the forensic science classroom. Mu Qiqi had class in the morning, but Qing Xia stopped her halfway. I have something to say to you. Mu Qiqi looked at Qing Xia with a cold expression and walked away from him. She turned a blind eye to this scumbag. Mu Qiqi, I know it was you and Feng Shanshan who did it. You exposed my brother's matter. Mu Qiqi turned around and asked Qing Xia, you're allowed to vent your anger, and others aren't allowed to take revenge? That cop sent my brother to prison, but Feng Shanshan insisted on being with him. Shouldn't I hate her? Qing Xia asked Mu Qiqi matter-of-factly. After Mu Qiqi heard this, she sneered. You caused others to be expelled from the school. Shouldn't Feng Shanshan return the favor? Where did she get her face from? Hearing this, Mu Qiqi finally understood. Qing Xia did not think that he was wrong at all, so her words became sharp. Then where did you get your face from? Don't you think you're disgusting to expose a woman's privacy? Besides, your brother committed a crime and the police arrested him. This is a matter of course. What do you have to complain about? You said that someone else made you bear the blame for your brother's mistake. This is called venting your anger. Did you vent your anger on Feng Shanshan too? Every injustice has its perpetrator, and every debt has its debtor. You bullied a woman, and you still have the nerve to talk nonsense in front of me. Why don't you bully Tang Yan? You think it to Tang Yan. Qing Xia was rendered speechless by Mu Qiqi. It's just exposing your relationship with your brother. You should burn incense. I haven't told anyone that you bullied a woman. Otherwise, in the eyes of others, you will not be the brother of a criminal, but a scumbag. Qing Xia had no chance of winning against Mu Qiqi. His theory of innocence was useless in front of Mu Qiqi. Just you wait. Mu Qiqi. Just you wait. I'll wait for you. I want to see if you can get hold of my weakness and make a good show. After saying that, Mu Qiqi walked around Qing Xia and returned to the classroom. It was really disgusting to think that such a lowly person could be a top student. However, in the morning, another rumor spread in the school. Qing Xia was the one who exposed Feng Shanshan's matter because he wanted to take revenge on Feng Shanshan. What happened last night in the foreign languages department was Feng Shanshan's return of the favor. The two of them were returning the favor. As a result, Qing Xia could not stay in school anymore. Mu Qiqi was right. The brother of a criminal was not that tragic. He just could not get a scholarship. However, he was a pervert who exposed a woman's privacy. Even the people around him felt disgusted when they saw him. Therefore, after school, Qing Xia waited for Mu Qiqi at the school gate. Seeing that Mu Qiqi was about to get into the car, he ran over. Mu Qiqi, tell me clearly. Qing Xia stepped forward and pulled Mu Qiqi. Su Che got out of the car and threw Qing Xia over his shoulder. Do you want to die? Su Che asked in a deep voice. It's fine, Su Che. This person is shameless and shameless. Let go of him. Otherwise, he'll come looking for you later. Mu Qiqi turned around and said to Su Che. Su Che let go, but he stood beside Mu Qiqi to protect her. Qing Xia lay on the ground and questioned Mu Qiqi loudly. Why did you tell others about our conversation? You said I'm disgusting. Aren't you the same? I don't have the time to spread the news about you. You were the one who found the forensic science department and a place where couples like to meet. You even said it with certainty. If someone eavesdropped on you, you can't blame it on me, can you? I don't believe it. Look at yourself, and then look at me. How big is the difference between our identities? If I really wanted to deal with you, it would be a piece of cake. So, don't disgust me anymore. With that, Mu Qiqi opened the car door and sat beside Xing Xiao. This man had been listening to the show in the car from the beginning to the end. Qing Xia couldn't do anything to Mu Qiqi. He didn't dare to offend her, and he didn't know where to find Feng Shanshan. His life in school was so difficult now that he had been targeted by many people. Therefore, he could only go home and ask his brother for help. Xing Xiao's car drove for a distance. At this moment, Xing Xiao said quietly, "How dare you offend the brother of a criminal? Aren't you afraid of being plotted against? I believe in justice and justice. You believe in it and still want to take revenge on Feng Shanshan. Only I can understand this," Xing Xiao said coldly. "Don't go anywhere alone for a period of time. Even if you don't say it, I've never been alone except in school," Mu Qiqi quickly said. "Are you that obedient?" "I'm that obedient." Xing Xiao took the opportunity to pinch her chin. "You're pretending to be obedient while causing trouble. I'm just relying on your love. Do you want me to be afraid of everything in order to avoid danger? I promised you that I would cherish my life. I'm not just saying that for nothing, but that doesn't mean that I don't have the courage to face danger. Xing Xiao felt that this thing's eloquence was getting better and better. He let go of her chin. You can come up with all kinds of fallacies. Chapter 7:15. You're heartless. There are only a few people I care about. I can't just watch Feng Shanshan get bullied. Xiao Xiao, I didn't mean to drag you down. Mu Qiqi suddenly put on a serious look. Xing Xiao was not used to it. Drag you down. Every time something like this happens to me, don't you investigate the other party's ancestors and guard against all kinds of dangers for me? Don't think I don't know. I remember it all. Mu Qiqi lay on Xing Xiao's legs and acted coquettishly. Xing Xiao was speechless. He pretended to be cold and let Mu Qiqi go. Anyway, what she said was the truth. However, when they reached the door, Mu Qiqi suddenly pulled Xing Xiao's arm and whispered to him, "Can you not go home tonight? I quite like the floor-to-ceiling glass in your office." Xing Xiao instantly understood the hidden meaning in her words. After a few seconds of silence, he said to Su Che, "You can get off work." Su Che knew where they were going, so he nodded. "Then I'll go home first." Then, Xing Xiao drove Mu Qiqi to Zhongting's office. It was indeed a little inconvenient for the couple to live with their parents. Even if Mu Qiqi wanted to do something wild with her man, she had to take care of the two old people at home. Only in Xing Xiao's office could she do whatever she wanted without any scruples. In the spacious office, there was no need for any lights because the lights of the entire city were enough for the two of them to see each other clearly. And in front of the floor-to-ceiling glass, Xing Xiao was deeply satisfied with this little one. "Do you still miss this glass?" Mu Qiqi endured the force and felt that she almost went crazy in this flickering space. "The person I'm thinking about all the time is you," Mu Qiqi answered with difficulty. On the other hand, Feng Shanshan had already packed everything at home and was waiting to move into her new house. Tang Yan had not gone back to work yet. Perhaps he wanted to ensure her safety before she moved. However, Feng Shanshan felt that she did not need it. "You're the leader of the criminal investigation team and the captain of the criminal investigation team. Now, you don't even care about the case because of love." Late at night, Feng Shanshan saw Tang Yan sitting on the balcony smoking. She walked behind him and leaned on his back. "This is the first time I've seen you smoking. Someone gave it to me. It's a pity not to smoke it." "I'm not addicted," Tang Yan replied. "I know you're not addicted. However, the way this man smoked was too sexy. Just imagine, a man with a perfect figure, topless, sitting on the balcony smoking. How handsome and tangible was that?" There haven't been any major cases in the bureau recently. Old Cheng and the others will handle the ordinary ones. "Chief, do you know that that person has been released?" "I know." Tang Yan blew out the last smoke ring and put out the cigarette butt. "But it's useless even if you know. If he doesn't commit any more crimes, no one can convict him. Then, is he really that fierce?" Hearing this question, Tang Yan turned around and pulled Feng Shanshan into his arms. "It's not the right time to talk." "Then, what is suitable?" "Perfect for kissing." After saying that, Tang Yan kissed her. The kiss was earth-shattering. Soon, the two of them had an idea on the chair. Without waiting for them to enter the room, the two of them directly sat on the table, as big as they wanted to be. It was as if this was the only way Tang Yan could be sure that this woman was still alive by his side. In the middle of the night, the women could not stand the torture and fell asleep. At this time, the worried men were on the phone. Every time Mu Qiqi was in danger, Xing Xiao would first investigate the other party before making arrangements. This was because he had always understood the principle of knowing yourself and your enemy, and you would always be victorious. CEO Xing. It seems that Captain Tang has guessed it. I'll call you, Xing Xiao said in a low voice as he stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window in his office. You care about Mu Qiqi so much. There's no need to think about this kind of thing, Tang Yan replied as he sat on the sofa. I want to know about Qing Bin's situation. Xing Xiao went straight to the point. In return, I'll include Feng Shanshan in my protection range. Deal. Tang Yan seemed to have predicted this call from Xing Xiao. Moreover, he had also thought of a bargaining chip for their cooperation. It shouldn't be difficult for them to protect their respective women, right? It was only a few days before the old man's birthday. Mu Qiqi did not seem to care about it. No one knew if she had prepared a gift for the old man. In fact, Old Master Xing did not have any special requirements for his children and grandchildren to give him anything. His main wish this time was for Xing Bowen to bring Ren Yufei to his house for a meal. When Xing Bowen heard this request, he was naturally very satisfied. However, during breakfast, he still couldn't help but reveal a spoiler to the old man. I heard that eighth brother has given Mu Qiqi a difficult problem. He asked her to prepare a birthday gift for you and make you like it. I wonder how Xiao Qi's preparations are going. When Old Master Xing heard this, his eyes were filled with anticipation. However, in front of others, he still pretended to snort coldly. Her. She's someone who always makes me angry and makes me seethe with anger. What do you expect her to give me? I don't believe it. Grandpa doesn't believe that Xiao Qi can deliver the gift to your heart. It's not that I don't believe it, but I don't think it's possible because this girl doesn't understand me at all. Even the few of you don't know what I like. Her. Although the old man said that, he did not think that way in his heart. In the past, he hated Mu Qiqi so much, but now, the person he talked about the most was Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi's position in his heart had surpassed Xing Zhao's. He thought that others couldn't tell. Of course, Xing Bowen did not expose him. This old man was becoming more and more duplicitous. He still refused to admit it. Let's see what kind of surprise Xiao Qi would give this old man. After work, Xing Bowen confirmed with Ren Yufei again that she would attend the old man's birthday with him that day. Ren Yufei had already agreed several times, but she could not withstand Xing Bowen's repeated inquiries. However, for the past few days, she had been having a premonition that her every move was being monitored. For example, when she and Xing Bowen went to the airport to send Xing Minglan and Hua Jinyao off, she noticed that someone was following them. In the past few days, the premonition had become stronger and stronger. Could it be Hu Ran? Ren Yufei took a deep breath and then denied her thoughts. She felt that this kind of stalking did not seem like the kind of quarrel between women. Chapter 7:16. Hu Ran did not stop following Ren Yufei and Gu Xiling, but she did not cause trouble for Ren Yufei either. She was waiting for news at home. Based on Xing Kai and Gu Xiling's personalities, she had a feeling that they would find her sooner or later. Papa Hu passed by his daughter's room after work. When he saw that Hu Ran was still talking to the detective, he sighed helplessly. Sometimes, he did not understand what Hu Ran was thinking about. However, it was at this moment that Hu Ran received a call from an unknown number. From the moment she picked up, she was almost certain of the other party's identity. It was Gu Xiling. Do you have time for a cup of coffee tonight? Because I see that you seem to be very distressed recently. Did you call the wrong number? This is the Hu family. You know who I am without asking for my name. Hu Ran, and you still say that you don't know that we sent people to follow Xing Bowen. Didn't you also send people to follow him and that vixen? It had been a long time since she heard this voice. It was because Xing Kai and Gu Xiling had been dealt with so harshly that they shouldn't have wanted to cause trouble again. However, judging from the current situation, these two people were most likely going to take revenge on the Xing family. You and Xing Bowen are divorced, but you still care so much about him. Why? Shut up. Hu Ran berated loudly. Are you just going to watch Xing Bowen and that vixen get together? As if she had been stabbed in the heart, Hu Ran's voice was mixed with anger. Tell me, where do we meet? Soon, the two of them agreed on a time and place to meet. However, Hu Ran still wanted to go out so late at night, which made Papa Hu very worried. Xiao Ran, didn't you listen to what Dad said at all? Dad, I know what I'm doing, Hu Ran said calmly. I don't know when I'll be back tonight. Don't leave the lights on for me. Papa Hu sighed. He felt that this was a completely different person from the obedient daughter he used to know. On the other side, after Qing Xia suffered a setback, he went home to look for his brother, Qing Bin, who had just been released from prison. When Qing Bin found out, he kicked his brother. His expression was very fierce, especially the scar on his forehead, which looked even more ferocious. Who told you to think you're smart? Did I ask you to take revenge for me? Do you think you can make me feel good just because you took it out on a woman? Stupid thing, what I want is Tang Yan's life. If you attack his woman, you'll alert him. How am I going to find a chance to kill him in the future? Qing Xia lay on the ground innocently, holding his head. Brother, I'm just a criminal. What right do I have to be your brother? You'd better get lost. Also, don't get involved in my business in the future. What I do is to kill people. Do you have the guts to do that? Qing Xia shrunk his head. Of course, he didn't have the guts. Since you don't have the guts, then scram. Tomorrow, I will personally go to the police station to apologize to Tang Yan. Before I am ready, I must not be suspected by this person. I really have a good brother, taking it out on women. In front of Qing Bin, Qing Xia was terrified and in awe. However, because of their blood relationship, he wanted to get close to him. However, Qing Bin had the aura of a pugilistic world, so Qing Xia did not dare to get too close to him. Go back. This isn't a place you should be in. Brother, I can't stay in school anymore, that's none of my business. Qing Xia's crying was really asking for a beating in front of Xing Bin. The most hateful thing was that he had to go to the police station to apologize. There were few customers in the cafe at night. It was also because of the cold that the surroundings looked very deserted. At this moment, Hu Ran and Gu Xiling were sitting face to face. They used to be sworn enemies, but now, the two of them could actually look at each other calmly. I still remember your honey and your glass shards. Don't tell me you've forgotten about them. Gu Xiling looked at Hu Ran carefully and suddenly laughed. Hu Ran, those are all in the past. Can't you care about what's happening now? Think about it. If it weren't for you, Xing Bowen wouldn't have been able to sit in the position of CEO. You two went through thick and thin together, but now Xing Bowen, Gu Xiling still looked so annoying. Her nature hadn't changed at all. Hu Ran did not say anything. She just picked up the coffee cup and took a sip. Think about it. How long has it been since your divorce? Xing Bowen has found a new lover, and it's the little vixen that Xing Kai sent to him. Aren't you angry at all? You've said so much. What exactly do you want? Hu Ren asked Gu Xiling in return. You asked me to have coffee just to say how heartless Xing Bowen is. Don't you think that everyone in the Xing family deserves to die? After hearing Gu Xiling's words, Hu Ran suddenly laughed. You want to drag me along with you to take revenge on the Xing family. Am I right? You knew that I was following Xing Bowen, but you didn't tell him. It's enough to show that you hate him. What do you want to do? It won't make things difficult for you. Gu Xiling smiled meaningfully at Hu Ran. We just want to arrange a prank for Huang Yao. But because Xing Kai's people have been completely removed from Huang Yao, I need you. After meeting Gu Xiling, it was already 10:00 at night. Hu Ran left the cafe. On the way back, she kept thinking about whether she should remind Xing Bowen now. However, if Xing Bowen was on guard and Gu Xiling became suspicious of her, wouldn't Xing Bowen fall into a trap if someone else did something else? So, she couldn't say it now. Of course, Xing Kai also suspected that Hu Ran would ruin it. So, on the way back with Gu Xiling, he asked her, "Do you trust her that much?" "We're just asking her for a small favor. She doesn't know our real intention. So, what's there to be afraid of? Moreover, I've said that I'm playing a prank on Xing Bowen. She hates Xing Bowen and will definitely take the bait. Most importantly, if she can't do it, I'll arrange for someone else to prepare a surprise for the old man at his birthday party. Kai, you've been hiding for so long. It's time for you to see the light of day." Did Gu Xiling think that Xing Kai could be like Xing Xiao? Xing Xiao had been hiding for half a year and found Enchanting. But could Xing Kai? No matter what, the husband and wife were quite confident. Xing Kai felt that the day of the old man's birthday party would be the day of his return. Late at night, Mu Chi-Chi locked herself in the study. She was secretly preparing a birthday gift for the old man. No one knew what she was up to. Chapter 717. She didn't even put in so much effort for his birthday. Now, for the old man, she was completely devoted. Even though he knew that he was the one who gave the order and had no right to be angry, he still silently drank a bottle of vinegar in his heart. Half an hour later, Mu Chi-Chi came out of the study and saw Xing Xiao sitting on the bed reading documents. She leaned on him and said, "You ignored me the whole night. You're so busy. Do you need me to take care of you?" When Mu Chi-Chi heard that, she deliberately sniffed him a few times. "Why do I smell something sour?" Third brother has already spoken. If I don't show some sincerity, I will definitely be laughed at. Moreover, this matter was originally done by you, so you have no right to be jealous. Did I say that I'm jealous? Xing Xiao looked up and asked with a fake smile. Yes. Mu Chi-Chi nodded affirmatively. I can smell your sourness from 5 kilometers away. You smelled it wrong. With that, Xing Xiao put down the document and lay down, looking like he was about to sleep. Mu Chi-Chi rode on top of him. Is it so hard to admit that you're jealous? Xing Xiao was not in a hurry even though she was sitting on him. He just put his hands behind his head and said slowly, when you had a crush on me, you didn't dare to ride on me like this. It's because I'm riding a tiger and I can't back down. Just like now, I'm afraid of embarrassing you. Xing Xiao grabbed her and sat up. He pressed her on his lap and spanked her butt. Lawless. Mu Chi-Chi's eyes were filled with tears. She couldn't fight back. You're jealous, but you won't admit it. I asked you to prepare a gift and you're so happy. Mu Chi-Chi quickly crawled under the covers and hugged him. Although I'm very happy that you're jealous of me, is it necessary for you to do it for the old man? The next morning, Tang Yan was still at home when he received a call from the bureau. Captain Tang, come back for a while. Someone named Qingbin came to look for you and said that he wants to apologize to you. Tang Yan's expression changed slightly when he heard Qingbin's name. Let him go back. There's no need. We told him that, but he insisted that he wouldn't leave the police station until he saw him. Old Qing answered awkwardly. Tang Yan was silent for a few seconds and nodded. I'll be right back. What kind of trick was Qingbin playing? To ensure Feng Shanshan's safety, Tang Yan planned to bring her along. You can go by yourself. Why do you need me to follow you? Qingbin has appeared. I'm afraid that he will use some tricks to lure us away, Tang Yan explained calmly. After Feng Shanshan heard this, she stopped talking and leaned against the car to rest. She was clearly not awake yet, but she was forcefully dragged out of bed by this man. However, thinking that he was worried, Feng Shanshan did not complain anymore. Soon, the off-road vehicle entered the parking lot of the police station. Tang Yan said to Feng Shanshan, "Wait for me in the car. I'll be right out." Feng Shanshan did not refute and leaned against the car quietly. Tang Yan went straight to the reception area of the police station. Qingbin was strong and no longer as fat as before. There was a scar on his forehead, probably caused by a fight with others in prison. He should have looked fierce, but he had a warm smile on his face and was respectful to everyone. "Officer Tang, I've finally met you, Officer Tang." The group of people did not know what was going on. They all stood to the side and watched the show. "Why are you looking for me?" Tang Yan was used to being cold. He walked up to Qingbin. After all, he did not regret what he did 5 or 6 years ago. "I'm here to apologize on behalf of my brother." Qingbin appeared very obedient. "I didn't know that he actually vented his anger on your girlfriend and even caused her to be expelled from the school. These are all matters of the past. I can feel your sincerity. If there's nothing else, you can go back quickly." Tang Yan was still indifferent. This made old Qing and the others around him anxious. With Captain Tang's conduct, why hadn't he been hacked to death yet? "Okay, I'll leave right away. I also want to be a good citizen now, Captain Tang. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done meritorious deeds in prison. I really want to turn over a new leaf." "You did very well, and you did the right thing." After hearing Tang Yan's praise, Qingbin smiled as brightly as a child. "I don't touch that thing anymore. Captain Tang can arrest me at any time. I'm a criminal police officer now. I don't care about what happens there." Qingbin nodded and placed the local specialties in front of everyone before turning to leave. However, when he entered the parking lot, he saw Tang Yan's car. Looks like that woman is really important to him. He actually brought her with him. Of course, Qingbin did not stay for long. He drove the tattered second-hand car and left the police station. However, at this time, the people from the branch office exploded. "Captain Tang, you were a narcotics officer before. Otherwise, why would such a criminal know you?" "No. That's strange." Senior Brother Long crossed his arms and thought. "Captain Tang, do you have any secrets that you're hiding from everyone? If there's nothing else, I'll continue my vacation." Tang Yan did not intend to reply to anyone's questions. These single dogs just like to be suspicious. Then, Tang Yan returned to the car. Feng Shanshan quickly asked, "What's the result?" "The Qingbin I saw today was like a completely different person. He used to be such a sinister person, but now he has a smile on his face when he sees everyone. It makes people unable to reach out to him." "Then what exactly does he mean?" "He came to tell me that he has changed his appearance. If it were someone else, I might choose to believe him, but what's wrong with him?" "He's just here to test me. I don't suspect him. This person used to be able to mix around with big shots at home and abroad. Do you think he doesn't know how to act?" Tang Yan asked. "Most importantly, he came out in 5 or 6 years of a 15-year sentence. 3 of his sentences were commuted, and all of them were meritorious services in prison. Such a person is not as useless as he looks on the surface." Feng Shanshan nodded. She did not dare to let down her guard against Qingbin. After all, her life and Tang Yan's were tied together. She could not see any mistakes. Perhaps you have to come into contact with such people often. Aren't you afraid? Tang Yan asked curiously when he saw that Feng Shanshan did not say a word. With you around, Feng Shanshan replied. Sometimes, I'm even glad that I don't have to study. Because this way, you can tie me to your belt and bring me with you at all times. Graduating from school and graduating through self-study are two different things. I've never seen anyone like you who doesn't care about having their lives ruined. Chapter 7:18. When Tang Yan heard this, he felt that the burden on his shoulders was even heavier. It was as if he was carrying Feng Shanshan's future on his shoulders. However, he felt that a man should bear the weight of two people. I won't let you regret it. Then charge forward. What's there to be afraid of? Feng Shanshan laughed heartily. They would be lovers for a day together. When danger came, they would face it together. For the whole day, Hu Ran was in deep thought. She sat in her courtyard and hardly went out. Late at night, Papa Hu entered the house exhausted. When he saw his daughter sitting in the courtyard, he walked up to her. Why aren't you sleeping yet? Dad, why have you been so late recently? Hu Ran asked Papa Hu. It's nothing. I'm just socializing. I'll go take a shower first and then chat with you. Hu Ran nodded. In fact, she felt a little guilty. During this period of time, she had focused all her attention on Xingboan, so she rarely cared about her father. If she hadn't seen him enter the door just now, she wouldn't have known how haggard he looked. Then, she sighed and finally chose to call Ren Yufei. Secretary Ren, are you free? Let's meet now. On the other end of the line, Ren Yufei looked at the time. Because she didn't want Xingboan to know, she nodded and agreed. Tell me the time and place. Hu Ran said a few words to Ren Yufei, then hurriedly told Papa Hu and left the house. Papa Hu was a little helpless, but he didn't blame his daughter. After all, he only had this one treasure. Half an hour later, the two of them chose to meet at a coffee shop. Ren Yufei thought that Hu Ran must have come to lay her cards on the table, although she didn't know what Hu Ran's bottom line was. The first thing Hu Ran did after entering the door was silence. Because she was struggling in her heart. Miss Hu. I want to know what you can do for Xingboan. Hu Ran leaned back on the chair and asked Ren Yufei directly. Swallow your anger. Or take a slap in the face for him. Can you do that? Miss Hu, I don't want the relationship between the three of us to be complicated. I know that you and the CEO have gone through thick and thin together in the past, but if you've given up on him, please do it cleanly. He is not an object, he is a person. After hearing Ren Yufei's words, Hu Ran smiled. Didn't you try to seduce him too? But I've never hurt him and I won't in the future. I know my status is low and my words carry little weight. There's a limit to what I can do for the CEO. But, as long as he needs me, I will do it. After Hu Ran heard this, she looked at Ren Yufei for a while and finally nodded. Now is the time for you to do something for him. Xing Kai wants to use me to deal with Xingboan and set him up. But because he's still worried about me, he didn't tell me what he's going to do in the end. What I need you to do is to intensify the conflict between us and make Xing Kai trust me. Only then can I know what he wants. This person is clearly back for revenge. First, Xingboan, then Grandpa Xing, and even Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi will be his targets. Of course, you can choose not to trust me. I trust you, Ren Yufei said without hesitation. Hu Ran was stunned for a moment and smiled. Do you know what I mean? I want you to deal with me, frame me, and even be misunderstood by Xingboen. Why do you trust me so much? I just want to ask, why are you still willing to help the CEO when you think he hurt you so much? You should be the same as Xing Kai. You should hate him. I've been sitting at home thinking about this question all day. Hu Ran shook the coffee cup in her hand and said, when I found out that you guys were together, I felt very uncomfortable, but that feeling was actually like when my stepmother stole my father. Later, Gu Xiling came to find me. At that moment, I only felt that my family was in danger again. I don't even remember how to be angry at you. My father was right. I've always treated Xingboen as a family member who has gone through thick and thin with me. I don't allow others to interfere with our special relationship. But now that I think about it, I'm only worried about him. I really don't hate him. Surprisingly, I don't hate you either. If I still lie to myself that it's love, then I'm probably really blind. After saying this, Hu Ran laughed to herself. She felt ridiculous. If it weren't for Dad, I might have really fallen for him. However, I helped him not because I'm great, but because Gu Xiling and her husband are really too annoying. No one can know that I'm looking for you tonight, especially Xingboen. He's not good at acting. I'm afraid that Xing Kai will see through it. If you believe me, then join forces with me. However, it's possible that you and Xingboen's future will be at stake. What's the point of liking someone? Don't you just want him to be well? Ren Yufei replied frankly, I believe you, but Miss Hu, if you use me and hurt the CEO, I'll fight you to the death. Hu Ran wanted to get up, but when she heard these words, she was shocked. I've underestimated your feelings for Xingboen. After saying that, Hu Ran got up and left. She looked around to see if anyone was following behind her. After saying this to Ren Yufei, Hu Ran felt relaxed. Was it because the thorn had been pulled out? Perhaps it was because it had been too hard to pretend to be stupid for those 2 years, so she stuck close to Xingboen. Now that she thought about it, she almost made a mistake. It was precisely because she was too engrossed in her thoughts that Hu Ran almost hit a stray car when she turned a corner. In the darkness, the man in the car got out of the car and took a look. Then, he knocked on Hu Ran's window and handed her a business card. Contact this person for compensation. You scratched my car. Then, the man left like a ghost. Hu Ran held the business card with lingering fear in her heart. She even thought that she had seen a ghost. The next day, Ren Yufei went to the Xing family early in the morning to fulfill her task as a special assistant and pick up Xingboen to work. This was because she knew very well that only by acting close to Xingboen could she anger Hu Ran. Why are you here? Xingboen was naturally as happy as a child. Since I'm a special assistant, I'm naturally here to pick you up, Ren Yufei answered very naturally. That's the right way to think. Usually, Ren Yufei would let Xingboen go home by himself to avoid arousing suspicion. This treatment was really not easy. Have lunch with me at noon. I know a lover's restaurant with a very good environment. After hearing Ren Yufei's words, Xingboen felt flattered. Are you serious? Chapter 719. Not only that, but when the two of them entered the company, Ren Yufei did not avoid arousing suspicion. She followed closely behind Xingboen. Her left hand even unconsciously touched Xingboen's right hand. Xingboen turned to look at her and covered her palm. Do you want me to hold your hand? Ren Yufei's face instantly turned red. No, Xingboen chuckled. He did not let go of her. Instead, he held her hand even tighter. The surrounding employees had already seen the interaction between the two of them. Their eyes immediately widened. The president and secretary Ren. Am I seeing things? The two of them came to work hand in hand. When did the two of them get together? Xing Bowen did not care about the rumors. He brought Ren Yufei into the president's office, grabbed her in front of his legs, and fixed her in place. Have you thought about it? Are you going to make our relationship public? Ren Yufei blushed and looked at Xing Bowen shyly. She nodded. Yes. Xing Bowen pulled her closer and smiled. Don't be afraid. I'll protect you. Okay, Ren Yufei replied in a voice as thin as a mosquito's silk. Fool. Ren Yufei's decision to make their relationship public was the first step to anger Hu Ran. The two of them had already made an agreement last night. I'll go out to work first. Call me if you need anything. Ren Yufei broke free from Xing Bowen's arms and turned to leave Xing Bowen's office. As soon as she went out, she was surrounded by her colleagues. News of the couple's relationship spread like wildfire. Soon, Hu Ran received a provocative phone call from Gu Xiling. Are you still sleeping at home? The two of them have already made their relationship public in the company. They don't care about you at all. What did you say? I said that adulterous couple ignored your existence and made their relationship public. Are you going to continue to endure it? Gu Xiling, if you're lying to me, we'll see. After saying that, Hu Ran hung up the phone and immediately left the house. On the other end of the phone, Gu Xiling smiled sinisterly. She wanted to see how Xing Bowen would deal with a woman whose heart was filled with hatred. Now, under Gu Xiling's grandfather's recommendation, Xing Kai was working for a mysterious person. He would do anything for power. He only wanted to climb up. His goal was simple. He wanted to overthrow the Xing family and make old Xing pay the price. Then, he would suffer for the rest of his life. As for Mu Qiqi, she was leaving her for Gu Xiling. She had said that she wanted Mu Qiqi to suffer a fate worse than death. We don't have much time. We have to hurry. Xing Kai reminded Gu Xiling. Don't let the show get in the way. I know what I'm doing, Gu Xiling replied. During this period of time, the two of them had been subservient to others, swallowing their anger and humiliation, just so that one day, they could let the person who had humiliated them have a taste of this kind of living. Hu Ran arrived at Zhongting very quickly, looking very aggressive. As soon as the receptionist of Huang Yao saw Hu Ran, she quickly called the president's office. The person who answered the phone was naturally Ren Yufei. Secretary Ren, no, Special Assistant Ren, the former CEO's wife is here. I'll be right down, Ren Yufei replied calmly. A moment later, she arrived at the entrance of Huang Yao. However, just as she walked out of the elevator, Hu Ran slapped her. Secretary Ren, your dream has come true. You've climbed into Xing Bowen's bed. Ren Yufei covered her cheek and looked at Hu Ran coldly. You two are not husband and wife. Moreover, you were the one who abandoned him and asked for a divorce first. Why? We're both unmarried. Why can't we be together? Bitch. Hu Ran scolded. You're a spy sent by Xing Kai. Who gave you the right to humiliate me? What's my identity? What's your identity? Shameless thing. I'm his girlfriend now. Whether you're willing or not, you have to accept this fact. I was being modest with that slap just now. However, if you dare to touch me again, I won't be willing to accept it. Is that so? After saying that, Hu Ran raised her hand again. However, Ren Yufei grabbed her wrist and gave her a backhand slap. Hu Ran was stunned. How dare you hit me? There's nothing I wouldn't dare to do. If you dare to humiliate me again. Ren Yufei looked at Hu Ran and said firmly, Security, this person has nothing to do with Huang Yao. Why aren't you throwing her out? The security guard stood at the door, feeling a little awkward. Don't forget, she's just the former wife of the president. Throw her out. Otherwise, you don't have to come to work tomorrow. After hearing this, the security guard went forward and held Hu Ran. I'm sorry, Miss Hu. Ren Yufei, you bitch. You seduced my husband. You'll die a horrible death. Hu Ran was blasted out. Many people saw it with their own eyes. A dignified young lady was actually humiliated like this. When passers-by saw this, they felt that Ren Yufei was really fierce. Hu Ran had no choice but to return to the car and drive away from Huang Yao. At this time, Gu Xiling, who was sitting in the cafe opposite Huang Yao and watching the show, called Hu Ran again. What's wrong? Are you still not giving up? Are you done? You keep calling me. I'm really tired of you. Gu Xiling, you're all scumbags, Hu Ran shouted into the phone. TSK, this grievance is really not a small one. Get lost. You'll come and beg me sooner or later. After saying that, Gu Xiling hung up. After that, Xing Bowen also found out what had happened in the hall. He also heard about Hu Ran and Ren Yufei slapping each other. Therefore, he immediately stopped what he was doing and went to the special assistant's seat. However, he saw that one side of Ren Yufei's face was red and swollen. Why didn't you tell me that she was here? She's here to vent her anger. When she does, it'll be balanced, Ren Yufei replied with a choked voice. I didn't want to make things difficult for you. That's something I didn't handle well. How can I let you take it on? Xing Bowen grabbed Ren Yufei's hand and pulled her into the office. When I'm free, I'll go and talk to her again. But if there's a next time, you can't go and see her alone without telling me. Ren Yufei looked at his anxious expression and sighed. If you're really doing this for my own good, promise me that you won't see her again. Otherwise, you'll keep pestering her. Then, I'll have suffered this slap for nothing. Xing Bowen grabbed Ren Yufei's hand and was silent for a moment. After a long while, he said, I'm incompetent. No, it's Miss Hu doesn't know her limits. I'll go find her father. Xing Bowen asked someone to find ice for Ren Yufei. Then, he called Mu Chi-Chi. Xiao Qi, do you have time? Let's meet tonight. Chapter 720. After sending Ren Yufei home that night, Xing Bowen drove to the banyan courtyard. When Mama Xing saw third brother, she treated him like her own son and took good care of him. Third brother, at your age, it's time for you to get married. Don't wait for eighth brother's child to grow up. You're still hanging on. Auntie, eighth brother still has 2 more years. Xing Bowen smiled. Isn't Chi-Chi still in college? Eighth brother isn't your age. The two of them chatted in the living room. Soon, Xing Bowen was called to the study by Mu Chi-Chi. Why are you looking for me? Xing Bowen sat in Xing Zhao's study. He really didn't have the chance to come here usually. Looking at Xing Zhao's table, he saw that Mu Chi-Chi's forensic books were on it. These two were so intimate even when they read. Have you found out about the leak of Huang Yao's design drawings? How do you know about this? Xing Bowen looked at Mu Chi-Chi in confusion. Mu Chi-Chi took out the information and handed it to Xing Bowen. Recently, Xiao Xiao asked Su Che to investigate a person named Xing Bin. He's a vicious criminal. He came out of prison for a few years and didn't come into contact with anyone except for a person named Third Master Long. This person has a lot of assets, including an accessory processing factory. The things that are being produced include the dazzling series of Huang Yao that hasn't been released yet. The information states that it's a copy of Huang Yao's drawings, so we know about it. After Xingboan heard Muqiqi's words, he quickly flipped through the drawings. This is a copy. But ever since the fake incident last time, I've completely cleaned up the people in Huangyao. There can't be any spies. The leak of the drawings might not mean that they were betrayed. It's also possible that the other party is familiar with the internal affairs of Huangyao and stole it. You're right. I'll call the police to deal with this matter, Xingboan said. We have to go through the legal channels. You're thinking too simply. Why did Third Master Long get the drawings? Is he familiar with the internal affairs of Huangyao? Think about it. The biggest possibility is Xing Kai. Xingboan thought about it and felt that Xing Kai was the most suspicious. If it were someone else, they would not have the authority to do so and would not know about the loophole. This person has been playing more and more tricks recently. The reason why I asked you to come is not only to let you know about Xing Kai, but also to remind you that Qing Bin and Third Master Long's gang used to sell powder for a living. They did everything. If Xing Kai really wants to take revenge on you, he definitely won't just sell the designs. My reaction now might mean that I have fallen into Xing Kai's trap. So, Xiao, and I think that you shouldn't look for Third Master Long. Avoid this person and delay the launch of the new product. Xingboan nodded. I know what to do. I've already told you what I came here for. Now, it's your turn. Muqiqi packed up the documents and put them in the bookcase. What kind of relationship problems are you having again? Today, Yufei revealed our relationship. Not long after, Huran came looking for me and caused a big scene with Yufei. I've told her everything I need to say. I don't know how to face her now. Xingboan said in distress, do you have any way to get Huran to stop pestering me? Tell me the whole story first, Muqiqi said to Xingboan. Actually, I don't know much either. When I got the news, Huran had already been beaten up by Yufei. I went to ask her, but she said it was very simple. After spending some time, Xingboan explained the matter to Muqiqi from the morning. After Muqiqi heard it, she frowned and thought for a long time. What are you thinking about? Help me think of a way. I don't want to hurt Huran, but I don't want her to disturb my life anymore. You want to take advantage of everything, but how can there be such a good thing in this world? Muqiqi smiled. It's not that I didn't help you think of a way. I just find it very strange. What's strange? Both women are very abnormal, Muqiqi replied. Of course, it might be my hunch that I'm wrong. Listen to my analysis for you. First, let's talk about Secretary Ren. She always didn't want the outside world to know about your relationship, and her attitude was very firm. But this morning, she suddenly changed her mind. She even took the initiative to remind you to hold her hand and publicize your relationship. Second, how did Huran get the news so quickly? Did she have a mole in the company? Or did someone deliberately remind her? Third, according to normal logic, when Huran arrived at Huangyao, Secretary Ren would go down to stop her. But is Huran the kind of person who would turn around and leave after being slapped? Shouldn't she want to see you the most? This doesn't conform to a person's emotional logic. If Huran was really that angry, she would have argued with you after being slapped, unless Secretary Ren's slap made her stupid. Huran spent 2 years pretending to be a fool. It shows her endurance. She doesn't want to admit defeat. How could she be willing to be suppressed by a secretary? Of course, just think of it as my occupational disease. When I see 2 dogs fighting on the side of the road, I have to analyze who attacked first. I just think it's a little strange. However, Xingboan felt that what Muqiqi said made sense. It's very ritualistic to slap each other like this. The most suspicious thing is that Secretary Ren downplayed it after the incident. As your girlfriend, I was slapped by your ex-wife. Even if I don't explode, I should at least be unhappy and aggrieved, right? After Xingboan heard this, he pushed Mu Qiqi's head. You're becoming more and more like a police officer analyzing a case. I think it's a little strange that you're analyzing it like this. When I figure out what the two women are doing, I'll come back for help. Can't you use your own brain? You'll be my lousy advisor for the rest of your life. Don't even think about running away. After saying that, Xingboan got up from the sofa. I'm going home. Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. She couldn't afford to offend him. Go, hurry up. Grandpa's birthday is coming soon. If this matter really has something to do with Xingkai, I'm afraid that he has ulterior motives and might cause a big storm. By the way, have you prepared a gift for Grandpa? If it weren't for your big mouth, I wouldn't have to suffer like this. For the past few days, a certain someone had been getting jealous. Everyone is waiting to see if Mu Qiqi, who has received Eighth Brother's teachings, can handle this matter well. She's still pretending to be smart. Mu Qiqi wanted to curse, but at this moment, a certain someone entered the study with a cold aura. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.